All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rome. And we got the last match of the tournament, the men's final. It is Sinner's here again. Are we surprised? Probably not. We shouldn't be surprised. Sinner's here, and he's been here every final. Every week we've watched finals, except for that Munich and Barcelona week. We have seen only Sinner versus somebody. And now this week he's playing Ruud in the final of a 1,000. He's trying to win the first 5 1,000s in a row. No one has ever done that. He's already broken the record of winning the most to start the season in a 1,000 titles by winning Indian Wells, Miami, Monte Carlo, Madrid. Rome would add to that, making it 6 in a row, going back to Paris last year. So again, just extending his record that he accomplished last week. And let's see what happens. Let's see if Sinner can do that, if he can extend his 1,000 record of wins in a row, which Djokovic had previously had. Yeah, at this point, he's just extending his records. And remember, we don't have a 1,000 until Canada, which is after Wimbledon. So if he does win this match here against Ruud, he won't have to worry about doing anything or trying to, keep this going until after Wimbledon and like 3 weeks after Wimbledon. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting if he plays Canada after Wimbledon, but we'll get to that later. Of course, he has to win this if it's going to be something topic that we got to talk about, right? Now, this is also the final time these guys are going to be playing final time. Most players are going to be playing before Roland Garros. Of course, Geneva next week. Ruud's going to play at this stage. But, he's played a lot this week, so who knows? So, yeah. So, we'll see what's up. These guys have played a bunch of times, including last year in Rome, where Sinner wrecked Ruud. So, I don't know if many people have got much hope for this being a close match, because Sinner is in great form, and plus Sinner had a bit of a scare against Medvedev, so you would think that after a scare against Medvedev, he might, try to put the foot back down and finish the clay season preparations for Roland Garros with a bang. So let's see. But how are we doing, chat? What's going on? Did you get enough sleep? Yeah, I slept for like 12 hours. I just passed out and slept all day. Not your business if Cam changed. Well, yeah, of course. I'm not going to wear a suit every day. That's crazy. Casper doesn't have the guts to beat Sinner, even though he has the shots. I don't think it's a guts thing. I think he has. I think it's a skill thing. Also, I don't think Sinner's going to get tired like he did against Medvedev. Ruud's going to have to really work Sinner over in the first set if it's going to be that. But by the way, because the French Open starts on a Sunday, but also because Grand Slams start Sunday week, all the tournaments this week start a day early. So today we've got a lot of first round matches going on in Geneva and all those kind of things. I don't know what we watch next week, or who we watch. It's more who we watch than what we watch, because I don't feel like we've missed too many players going into the French. Like, do we need to watch anybody to see how they look on the men's side? I feel like we've watched everybody that's going to be a threat. I don't know. Like, who do we watch? Do we watch anybody on the men's side? Vera pulled out of Hamburg, so did Fonseca, so that kind of ruins that potential. We might watch a little bit of like Shelton maybe next week, or we can watch maybe FAA if it makes sense. On the women's side, over in Rabat, there's not much to watch over there. And then over in Strasbourg is the one where we've got Mboko playing. She's going to play Boiseau, which is interesting. We might watch her. We haven't watched much of her. Jovic and Navarro playing. Okay. Raducanu, Eala, all the usuals as well. Dash is playing Samsonova. Yay. So we'll probably just be in and out of tournaments next week, not really watching too much. There's not much to watch. Oh yeah, fantasy teams are locked. Yep, they are, and I have made some questionable decisions. yeah, this is my team. I use so many switches, but I'm gonna just hoping that some of these guys do well this week, so then next week I can make 3 trades and lose points. But yeah, that's my team. I think next week is it's going to be such a tough, it's going to either be a great week or a horrible week for everybody. I feel like next week is such a hard week to do fantasy team because you just don't have the reliable Sinner to just chuck in at bonus ball. But I chucked in Shelton because I'm a fan of Shelton, pretty much. That I'm a fan of Shelton. By the way, if you haven't checked out, go check out Expected Aces if you are into fantasy team because it gives out heaps of information, heaps of tricks and tips. Yeah, definitely worth watching. But yeah, made 6 trades because I had to get rid of people that weren't playing. Mine is worth a laugh. Yeah, it's so hard. I can't look at yours though. I can't look at anybody's because next week has to start before I can do anything. So I can't look at anyone's team until this week's ends. But during the week, we'll talk about it. If today Sinner wins it, is it really a big deal? If Sinner wins, well, it's not a big deal if he beats Ruud, but it's a big deal if he wins a title because if he wins the title, he's completed the Golden Masters, which only Djokovic has done, winning every single 1,000 title. He, like I said, has won the first 5 for the year, which is something that no one's ever done. So yeah, historically, it's definitely a big deal, but not if he beats Ruud. Like it doesn't matter how he wins, but if he wins, that's huge. It's a huge deal. Yeah, wins his first Rome Open. I think he's like the first Italian in forever to win this tournament as well. So yeah, I've seen Sinner in full preparation, doing stretches, exercising. Yep, he's ready to go. They'll be on court in like 15 and they'll start in about 20. No suit today. No suit today. It's a once every never, every whenever. But yeah, chat, who do you want to watch next week? Is there anyone next week that you're keen to tune into? Do we need to tune into? Have we missed anyone? I feel like on the men's side, it's like everybody we've watched that we thought was a threat to Sinner, we've seen play Sinner and lose. So I don't know if there's anyone like that we haven't seen that could threaten Sinner. It's I don't know. Maybe there's just like matchups. Maybe we'll just be like, oh well, Dartery versus Shelton's interesting, or I mean, Cerundolo Demonor is interesting, but also not because Demonor is going to win, but because Cerundolo could beat him, and that I don't like that. I don't want to see that. FAA is playing. I mean, on the men's side, it doesn't feel like last year. Remember last year we watched Djokovic because he was playing Geneva. Not this year. I don't know. I don't know if on the women's side though. There's definitely more to keep an eye on, I guess. But I don't know. If there's someone you want to watch, let me know. Just let me know. All right. They are playing. Who's playing now? Tommy Paul's playing right now, which is kind of interesting. Very interesting. Take a break. Casper is good. How did Menchik beat Sinner in Doha? By playing well. And Djokovic isn't playing until next until the French. He's not playing any warm-ups next week. Bit of a shame. Wouldn't have minded him playing next week just to get some more matches under his belt, but he chose not to. He said, I don't need to play Geneva again. No need to play Geneva. The men's doubles won at home for the first time in 66 years. Yeah, that's awesome. Adam.
Does Ruud have any chance to win today?
I mean, everyone has a chance, but it's a slim chance. So I would say unlikely. He needs to wear out Sinner. That's what he needs to do. He needs to wear Sinner down like Medvedev did. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's I just feel like maybe it's after the Medvedev win. I think he might come out and just try and prove a point. Just like finish this preparation for Roland Garros with a statement win. I don't think he wants to finish this tournament with 2-3 setters. Not that it makes that big of a difference, but still, I don't think he wants to, finish the week off by getting by. I feel like today might be, he might just crush Ruud because he can. You know what I mean? And I hope I'm wrong, but it just feels like it could be like that. G.
Hello again, Cam. Wish you to get 300k subs as soon as possible. Thanks for the great job you're doing. Could you share your favorite Nadal memory?
No worries. Thank you for the donation. Favorite Nadal memory. The 2008 final was pretty sick when he won Wimbledon. That was awesome. 2022 Australian Open final as well was pretty awesome. What else? What other? I mean, 22 Australian Open was awesome. I mean, even when he won like 2009 Australian Open, like that was huge. Beating Fedasco and Federer, like those two matches back to back for Rafa were awesome. So yeah. Those are probably some of my favorites. When some crazy fan ran on court and kissed him. That definitely wasn't my favorite moment, but okay. Chances, no. Give the trophy immediately to Sinner. Look, we respect Casper Ruud. We love Ruud, right? We love what he does. He's a great player, but he's just not at the same level as Sinner. So it's like, how does he beat the guy that everybody can't, nobody can beat? Like, how does he beat the unbeatable when he's never even beaten him himself? If he'd beaten Sinner a couple times like before, then maybe, but he hasn't even beaten Sinner before. So this is going to be a real tough one. Sinner's a bad matchup for Ruud. Well, that's it as well, right? I mean, Ruud doesn't have any weapons. The weapons that trouble Sinner, that we've seen trouble Sinner, right? That big serving, the big serving guys, we've seen trouble Sinner before. We've seen, the variety guys trouble Sinner, or the guys that are just relentlessly, rallying. Like Ruud's going to have to play out of his mind if he's going to be competitive, right? We're not even talking about winning here. We're talking about being competitive against Sinner. Why was Djokovic banned in 2022? He was deported from Australia because he was unvaccinated, and there were I know because I lived in Melbourne. There were strict rules, not just for tennis players, but for people that lived here too. Strict rules around people that were unvaccinated, and that's why he was deported and not allowed to play the Australian Open, which. Also extended into the US Open. He wasn't allowed to play that either. He just didn't go through the fiasco of what happened in Australia. He just didn't. He went, oh well, they won't let me play. I'm not going to bother trying. I think it will be more competitive than last year. Ruud is more rested at least. Yeah, I mean Ruud is not as tired as maybe he was last year against Sinner, because he was coming into that match a little bit more fatigued. But also Sinner 12 months ago was playing his first tournament back for 3 months, and you would think maybe there was some rust there, but no. I mean, I'm very interested to see how how Ruud does early, because I think it's going to set the tone. We've seen Sinner with Medvedev and Rublev in the first games of the set, like the first game of the match, break, right? So it's super crucial if Ruud ends up serving first, he has to win that first game, because against Rublev, Rublev got broken straight away. Against Medvedev, Medvedev got broken straight away. And as soon as you get broken in that first game against Sinner, it's just like, oh no, I'm already losing. Now I've got to fight back. And how do you break Sinner? He serves amazing. And, how do you, how do you come back? And luckily for Medvedev, I guess, he was able to drag out those early rallies. And the first set didn't really matter for him that much. Like, even though he lost at 6-2, he made Sinner earn it. So that's why when we got to the second set, we saw Sinner start to fatigue and things start to go a little bit weird. So, yeah, if Ruud doesn't win the first set or doesn't win the first game of the match, he's got to at least make Sinner, play 25-shot rallies, 30-shot rallies to make Sinner work for it. The difference as well is that I don't think it's going to rain today, so the conditions aren't going to be as heavy as the last couple of days. Also, it's not a night match, so, with Medvedev that 2 days ago, they were playing at night, and it was totally different conditions than what Sinner had played. So Ruud doesn't have that advantage either. That edge, I guess, yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. President of Italy is watching the match. Ooh, okay. Ruud serves well, but his topspin game plays into Sinner's strength. Yeah. He doesn't hit the ball flat enough to make an impact. And yeah, Ruud's going to have to hit drop shots. He's going to have to just work Sinner around the entire court. Eala's schedule's out for Monday. Wait, is it? Oh, God. Is she playing tomorrow too? Do we have to watch tennis tomorrow? Do I not get a day off? Oh, Dash is playing too. Oh, okay. That's not terrible. What time is that at? Oh, okay, that's not too bad. She doesn't play that late. That's fine. I'll tell you, tomorrow's match is going to be really interesting because we will watch that. Olina Kova is very fun to watch, so that's going to be an interesting, fun match to watch. Olina Kova is that unorthodox player that played keys in Australia with the moon balls, and she's got the temporary tattoos that she puts on her face. So yeah, where's my YouTube plaque? Behind here. Medvedev's tempo, flat trajectory are difficult to attack or out away. Ruud's topspin jumps into Sinner's structure. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Totally. If you look at everybody who Sinner struggled against, right? Like if I go through the list of players that have either taken a set or taken Sinner to a tiebreak over the last couple of months, you notice a trend, right? Medvedev, you're right, flat ball, but also has that serve as a weapon, right? Rublev didn't do much. I mean, if we go back to Hodar, right? That was the last time before Medvedev that he had struggled against anybody in a set. Hodar, same thing, flat. But also you got to remember predictability too. Like Hodar and some of the younger guys that he's played over the last couple of months. I'm talking like Mickelson, Fonseca, those guys. They also have the unpredictability factor where they're not just going to go cross court. They're going to go up the line, out of nowhere. They're going to make Sinner, they're not predictable. Whereas Ruud is going to hit the safe shot. He's going to go cross court with the backhand most of the time. He's not going to go up the line, right? He's going to go cross court with the forehand, right? To try and move Sinner side to side, right? Sinner knows that. Whereas guys like Hodar and stuff like that, they're willing to risk the shot. Same with Mahatch, right? Mahatch has a flat ball. He likes to smack a winner. He did steal that second set. Bonzi won the first set in Madrid in 8-6, right? So it was like he just won the first set, but he got that first set. Obviously, Alcaraz is Alcaraz. He obviously was going to push Sinner. Yeah, Mickelson nearly got a set off of Sinner. Even Zverev got to a tiebreak in the second set of Miami. We forget that. Lehechka didn't get a set off Sinner, but, you know, 2-6-4 sets. You know, Lehechka has that similar game to what I was mentioning. Obviously, Fonseca back in Indian Wells pushed him as well. Medvedev in Indian Wells pushed him as well. So, yeah. And then Menchik beat him, and Djokovic is Djokovic, right? So, yeah. The guys that have been able to work Sinner or be able to bash through Sinner, they're the two types, right? Either the guys that can physically, you know, Medvedev, Djokovic, these guys that can, you know, work Sinner over, and the guys that can hit the big serves, get the free points on their side, and then also be able to smack a return. Menchik, you know, even Medvedev on the serve, like I said. Ruud, unfortunately, doesn't really fall into any of those categories. He does have a good serve, though, Ruud, so he's going to have to serve extremely well. But yeah, the spin is gonna slow up off the clay. Yeah, it's going to kick up on Sinner, but Sinner's tall. He doesn't... Having a spin forehand kicking up at Sinner, he's just still going to hit it above his shoulder and he can crush it. So, and we talked about this earlier in the week, how Sinner looks like he's 7 foot tall when he's hitting that forehand. He looks like he's always hitting the ball down. And if you hit the ball up, he's going to just, you know, crush it down as he has been doing the entire time. Also, a thing that Ruud is definitely going to have to do is hit it deep. Because, you know, Sinner likes to stand on that baseline. If he can really rip that ball deep, especially on the forehand, then maybe he can push Sinner back a little bit. But, yeah, again, we're talking about all these things that are like, he has to do so much and this is just to keep it close. You know, if he doesn't do all of those things, Sinner's probably, I mean, look, even if he does all those things, Sinner could beat him. Like in straight sets. So, yeah. Alcaraz got whooped and quit. Yeah, did you watch that? You watched that match, did you? Yeah, Ruud needs... I'll tell you another thing that Ruud should do. He should try and go for angles as well. Because that way, at least, instead of trying to hit the ball hard, using angles, he could at least make it a little awkward for... make Sinner hit some awkward shots, right? Some shots that are in positions of the court that he doesn't want to be. But again, he's going to have to also do this by hitting 0 unforced errors, right? And getting 100% of first serves in. Like, again, this is on top of like playing perfect, right? And not giving away any points. And is that going to be enough? I don't know. Djokovic defeated Alcaraz in the Olympics. He did. Ruud needs long ball rallies, and so Sinner gets started. Well, that's another thing, right? I mean, the sun's out today, but I don't know if it's going to be hot. And I don't know if it's going to be... again, are we going to see... We did see, though, maybe to give Ruud some hope, we did see in the second set of the Rublev match and in the Medvedev match, Sinner did fatigue. So, yeah, that's interesting. And he did drop... He dumped energy dump, right? It was a big energy dump. So, you know... Is it going to be third time? But it feels weird, though. Like it feels like that if it happens twice, Sinner's not going to have that again. I doubt he's going to figure out how to fix that. And why that happened and not have it happen again. Like that's what Sinner does. He downloads the information and he learns from those mistakes or learns from those things and it doesn't happen. Or it won't happen might not happen in this final. You can't rely on Sinner being tired. All you can do is try and make him tired. Try. Ruud is going to hope there isn't a rain delay during this match since there's been one in his last 2 matches. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a rain delay. I think today is going to be everything's going to be fine. I don't think there's going to be a rain delay today. I'd be very surprised if it rained. The sun is out. The weather is nice. I think we'll be fine. All right, players should be on court any second. Full house. Love to see it. Love to see that. Does it put more pressure on Ruud because now people expect him to have a chance because Sinner is tired? No. Chat, one in the chat if you think Ruud has a chance. 2 in the chat if, and you're putting pressure on him and you're expecting him to win or do well. 2 in the chat if you have no expectations on Ruud whatsoever. And if don't think that he's going to do anything to Sinner. 1 if you have expectations on Ruud, 2 if you don't, pretty much. Okay, a couple of people expect Ruud to do something. Okay, most people don't. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, people have expectations on Ruud. Some people do. Okay, but most people don't. And I'm definitely a 2, right? I don't have any expectation of Ruud. I'm expecting this to be Sinner, 2 and 4. And if it's anything closer than that, that's great. But I'm not. I'm definitely in the second category where I do not expect Ruud to do anything. There's no expectations. I'm not putting any pressure on him. Sinner's got to win he's trying to do something that only Djokovic has done. So, and try and win a tournament at home, which no Italian's done for a long time on the men's side. So there's definitely a million more expectations on Sinner, but I don't think anyone has an expectation on Ruud. I hope he does well. I hope it's close, but I don't expect it to be. And if he loses in straights, I'm not going to be like, wow, Ruud was really disappointing. I'm going to be like, well, he played Sinner. Yeah, 6 straight Masters as well. Yep. And there's a lot of things that Sinner is trying to achieve. Nah, Ruud is not good enough. Navone wins. Cool. If Ruud brings to a third, I'll be impressed. Oh yeah, that for sure will be. I'd be super impressed if he brings it to a third. All right, players are about to walk out on court. Players are about to arrive. Here we go. Here we go. I expect him not to be wiped off the court like last year. Yeah. Look, if he has a better result than last year, that's maybe that's what the expectation on Ruud is, that he doesn't get completely wrecked like last year. But I mean, last year he can only get better from last year. Last year was such a bad loss that he can't really go backwards. It'd be pretty disappointing if he does lose worse than last year. All right. Here we go. Oh, the choir's back. Let's sing the anthem. Mother Nature gave Sinner a boost with the rain delay against Medvedev. Well, he had the break when it rained, so I don't know if the rain delay... It helped Sinner, but I don't think it was like... had they kept playing, I don't think Sinner was going to lose. I still think Sinner was in a winning... he was in a winning position. Would Medvedev have had a better chance of breaking back of the night sessions that he could still play? Yeah, for sure. I think it hurt Medvedev because he had Sinner, but I don't think it saved Sinner. Sinner was still winning at that point anyway. I don't think the result would have been any different had they kept playing. I think it still would have been 6-4 Sinner in the third. It might have been just a little. Maybe Medvedev had a better chance to get back though if he had, if Sinner had hit some tired shots. So the Italian president is there apparently, and they're all cheering for him, giving him a round of applause. Now he's on the screen so everyone can see. It's not like Sinner asked Cahill and Venozzi to spray with a hose from the roof. Yeah, no one said that. All right, so before we get started, chat, because they're singing a song. I need you all to be aware that the people that are in here, this community, right, the tennis talk community, we are not the same as Twitter, right? So if you're on Twitter and you're hearing like all the mad, crazy stuff that people say about Sinner online, on Twitter specifically, on that platform, if you're hearing all that stuff and then coming in here and thinking we're saying the same thing, or some people here are saying the same thing, that is not the case, all right? This is a safe place where we cut that shit out. If anybody comes in here and says some mad, crazy shit like that that you'll probably read on those kind of things, we don't play that game here. So, saying that like it's not like Sinner's coaches were spraying from the roof. Yeah, nobody here said that, and nobody ever would say that. If they did, I'd make fun of them. So yeah, that was probably something you read on like Instagram or something. We don't do that shit here. I make fun of the people that do that kind of stuff here because it's ridiculous. So yeah, so don't feel the need to you don't have to be defending. We're understanding here. But I know you read some stuff on like over there, and then you come over here, and you're like, oh, these people over here, and it's like, yeah, but those people aren't here. We don't have those people aren't over here. Because I'm sure there was some mad conspiracies happening over on the internet. I don't think the rain had any effects. Sinner was up in the third uncontrolled. Yeah, look, like I said, I think that had the match continued, I think Sinner would have. I think Medvedev would have had a better chance than he did the next day, but I still think it would have been Sinner in 6-4. I still think Sinner 6-4 would have been the result. Djokovic lost to Prismic. He did. Cam is pro players, no BS. Yeah, we are 4 players. We defend all the players. Sinner gets overhated. That's why I said it. Yeah, but not here. We don't hate here. There's no hate here. We don't play that game. This is a safe place. It's okay. Everything's fine. It's a safe place. There is no interest in this match besides because Sinner's one-sided. Yeah, it's a little disappointing that, and it's not either player's fault, that this match feels like an inevitability. It definitely doesn't have the same interest as like, the Medvedev match or even the women's final, right? I mean, there's definitely less people interested in this. And fair enough. Ruud hasn't beaten Sinner. There's no indication that Ruud can beat Sinner. He doesn't want to set off Sinner, right? So all of those factors just really, are really tough to see how Ruud's going to even be competitive. Cam in formal wear for the ladies and regular garb for this match. No, I was in formal wear because I went to a wedding, and now I'm wearing normal clothes because I didn't go to a wedding today. The end. Number of sets, probably 2. Still better than Zverev. Sinner match, I'll tell you, it might be the same. It might just be the same. Might not be better or worse. It might be the same. Daugherty versus Sinner could have been more interesting. I don't know. I don't know about that. Look, I hope I'm wrong. We love Ruud. We love Ruud. But Sinner should win this in an hour and 30 minutes at the most, and it should be 6-2, 6-3 at the most, or maybe the minute, like at least. It could be 4-4, it could be 7-6, 6-2, right? But I think that realistically, this is going to be 1 hour and 20 minutes with Sinner winning 6-3, 6-4. Maybe a break in each set, maybe 2 breaks in one of the sets. Kind of like the Rublev match. I feel like it's probably going to be on par with that. Similar to that score and Ruud's going to get some chances. Probably get 2 or 3 chances to break. Maybe. I also have a fear in me for Ruud that Sinner's going to come out here and crush him just to finish the season off, the clay season with a bang before the French, right? The warm up for the French with a bang, because the last 2 matches, I think a lot of people are seeing, oh, Sinner's actually he's not very fit right now. He's tired. I think after today, we're probably not going to think about that. We're probably not. He's probably going to prove that he's not actually tired. He's fine. Why didn't I wear a suit today? Because I didn't go to a wedding. By the way, Panatta, the legendary Italian player from the 70s, he's in the stands. Also, Flavia Panatta is in there as well. So a lot of Italian tennis legends are around. And of course, this is Sinner trying to be the first player outside of Djokovic to win all the 1,000 titles. He's the only one that's done it, Djokovic, and Sinner's trying to be the second. But more importantly, and I think this is probably why there's so many Italian figures there, is because no Italian has won this tournament on the men's side for many, 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 many years. Now, this tournament goes back to 1930. It's been around for 96 years. Now, Paolini obviously won last year this event on the women's side. Sinner made the final, of course, but Adriano Panatta back in 76 won this tournament. He is the last Italian to win this trophy. And I wonder if he's going to give the trophy to Sinner, because that's probably going to be a nice symbol of, 50 years ago, I won this. 50 years. 50 years ago, he won this trophy, and now 50 years later, the arguably the best player in Italian history in Jannik Sinner, and arguably is probably a stretch because he definitely is. He's definitely going to be, right? If he's not already, from the former best. Petrangeli is definitely, he's a consideration too. Nicola Petrangeli, who won back in 61 and back in 57, but he unfortunately passed away last year, sadly. But Panatta also made the final here back in 78, lost to Borg. So he's played here twice in the final. This is Sinner's second final. So yeah, he is. It would probably be, there's going to be that moment where he's going to be there with Sinner at some point today if Sinner wins. And also apparently in the doubles, so Paolini won last year, and it just shows how Italian tennis is so good right now and so great on both sides. The men's final went to the Italians too. So the Italians over the last couple of seasons at this tournament have dominated, including last year with Arani and Paolini winning the doubles as well. So over the last 2 years, if Sinner wins this, the Italians have swept this tournament, which I would guess has never happened or hasn't happened since like the 30s. So yeah, this is a huge historic day for Italian tennis. And you've got the Italian, I'm sure that, Paolini somewhere there, and, probably, that's probably why the president's there, right? Huge moment for the country in this sport. Immense pressure on Sinner. Yeah, but pressure doesn't get to him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's immense pressure, but also Jannik Sinner pressure doesn't affect him. Like, he doesn't seem to buckle under pressure. Like, you know what I mean, chat? Like, if it was anybody else, you'd be like, oh no, that's a lot of pressure. But with Sinner, he doesn't really, he probably doesn't care that much about like the achievement. He's probably more just like, I just want to win this match. Like, he's probably not bothered by all of those things, right? If he double faults on the first point of the match, then we can maybe say something. But I doubt he's going to. Be very shocked. By the way, chat, we're almost at 400 likes as well, so thank you for that. Can we get to 1,000 likes? I'm sure we can. We've been getting to 1,000 likes the last couple of matches, so appreciate that. Thanks for sticking around. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We watch more tennis than any healthy person should do. We're tennis junkies. That's pretty much what we're at. I don't know how many matches I've watched this week in Rome, or these last 2 weeks in Rome, but I can tell you it's probably more than anybody could have watched besides, I don't know, the umpire. But even the umpires get breaks. So this year in Rome, we have watched Here we go. Ready? Drum roll. We have watched 45 matches in the last 2 weeks. This is the 45th match, and that's including the Medvedev. That's Sinner Medvedev 1 and 2, right? So that's like the split, but that was still one match, I guess. So maybe 44 matches this week. So there you go. And last week in Madrid, it was similar. So that is what that's what we're here to do. If you want to watch tennis, we'll probably be here. We'll be live. I mean, some people were shocked how live I'm here all the time. And I'm a real person. See? AI can't do this. Not yet, anyway. How can I legally watch the stream? Hey, that's a great question. Now, you can watch this by checking out the Tennis TV app. You can watch it on the Tennis TV app, the new app that they have. We're collaborating with them for the rest of the year. So scan the QR code, click the link down below. There's a link in the chat too. And you can check it out there. They've got the scores over there as well. You can watch highlights. You can watch all kinds of fun stuff over there. And also, if you have a Tennis TV subscription, you can watch it over there too. So there you go. Nobody can defeat a healthy Sinner. Yeah, I mean, it's very unlikely that Sinner is not going to win this match, which doesn't make... Did that make sense? I don't know. Did that make sense? It's unlikely Sinner's not going to win. Definitely could have said that better. Please say Forza Sinner. There you go, Forza Sinner. I've been watching for a long time. I don't know how long, but pretty long. If you remember, hey, thank you for sticking around. Appreciate that. Some people have been here for literally years. So I appreciate that. Thank you for sticking around. ATP Fantasy is wrecked. Oh, man, I tell you, next week's going to be brutal. Next week is going to be tough. I've been here since 2021. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate that. Match is going to start in about 3 minutes. About 3 minutes. About 3 minutes away. How come I have 6 fingers? I don't know. Magic? I don't know. Been here since February 2024. Appreciate that. This match actually marks 1 year for me watching. Hey, appreciate that too. Thanks for sticking around. Love your watch-alongs. Love a long-time fan. Appreciate it. My earliest memory of the channel was back in 2022, Federer versus Rafa versus Medvedev. Yeah, I think a lot of people were around that time. That tournament was very significant for many reasons, but one was Rafa winning, so a lot of people joined around that time. Been here since 1964, have you? What, like on Earth, or is that what you mean? Watching tennis, or... I definitely wasn't around. And the internet wasn't, unless you're from the future or another timeline. Did you say you have 6 fingers? No, somebody said I had 6 fingers. All right. I have no idea who's going to serve first, but if it's Ruud, he's going to have to hold 1,000,000%. Sinner Hurkacz 2021 was when I got here. Hey, appreciate it. First day here, I figured I would see what the hype's about. Hey, Gregs, thank you for joining us for the first time. Appreciate that. Ruud chose to serve. Okay. Many have chosen. Many have failed. He's going to have to hold serve. That's what Medvedev and Rublev were not able to do in the first game of the match against Sinner in their matches. So he's got to have to hold. This first game might be if you lose the first game, might be out. That's it. That's enough. No more tennis. Good to listen to your voice while watching a real match. Well, yeah, that's the best way. Have the match on and come hang out. Yep, they're on court. They're warming up. Last couple of serves, and then we are going to begin. If it is your first time here, welcome. My name's Cam, and I watch more tennis than anybody can try and watch. It's too much, some would say. Casper has 12 titles on clay. I hope he makes it competitive. Yeah, I think that's all we ask for, right? We hope that we're all going to, I think most of us are going to pick Sinner. 99% of people, I would say, in the chat are picking Sinner. But most of those 99 are probably thinking, well, hopefully it's a competitive match. We want to finish the final with a nice match. I don't think many people are picking against Sinner. And I know the Sinner fans just want him to win. They don't care how. But I think for the neutral fans, we just want Ruud to put up a fight. Make it interesting. And he can. Ruud's a very capable clay courter. He can definitely make an impact. But he's playing Jannik Sinner. Hey, Neil, thank you for the 10 gifted. Appreciate that. Here we go, chat. Give me your score predictions. Who you got? And what's the score going to be? Let me know. I'm going Sinner in straights. I don't know, 4-4. Let's go with that. A break in each set. 4-4 is what I'm guessing. Ruud to serve. The shadows are super awkward. Gross. And Sinner shanks it into the sky. All right, good first serve from Ruud. Sinner in 2, Sinner in 3, Sinner in 2. 2-0 Ruud. Okay. Weather is sunshine. 6-4, 6-3. 6-4, 7-5, 6-2, 6-2, 6-2, 6-4, Ruud in 2, Ruud in 2, Sinner in 2, Sinner in 3. By the way, the shadows are super awkward for Sinner when the ball's coming from the sun to the shade to the sun. So maybe Ruud has he's going to have to hold the first game, but maybe the shadows might be in his favor to start this match. As we're forehand now from Ruud into the backhand of Sinner. Ruud with a forehand into the backhand again of Sinner. Ruud. Another forehand up the line. Sinner backhand. Into the Ruud forehand is Sinner. Backhand again. To that Ruud backhand is Sinner backhand again to the forehand of Ruud. Now Sinner with the forehand of the stretch. Ruud backhand cross court. Sinner's there. As Ruud backhand into the forehand of Sinner. Now backhand again from Ruud. Sinner with the backhand on the stretch. Goes out. Okay. That's a good play by Ruud. That long extended rally. 30 love. Also, I'm almost at 500 likes already. Appreciate it. 30 love. Ruud serves again. 30 love. Ace Emma T. Okay. 40 love. $40 love. Shadows are annoying, yeah, but they might help Ruud a little bit. Maybe we get some free points. You need everything. need everything. Need all the help. Return goes into the backhand of Ruud, and Ruud rips it cross court for a winner. 1 love Ruud. So he's already done better than Medvedev and Rublev to start the match. 1-0. And he's also won he's equaled the amount of games he won against Sinner last time. Already equaled as many games as he won last time. So there you go. Great effort. Let's give a round of applause. Give the man a respect, all right? Respect the man. 1 love. 1-0. Let's see how Sinner serves. We love this for Ruud. All right, President of Italy in the house. Sinner serves. First serve is a fault. Second serve. Should we worry about Coco Gauff? She lost 2 finals and she was in 2 finals, lost both. She's only 22 though. No, don't. Why are we worried about Gauff? She's fine. Gauff's it's not great that she lost yesterday, but Gauff's fine. Gauff's serving has gotten so much better the last couple of weeks. I think that's the big. There's more plus for Gauff over the last 2 weeks than minus. You know what I mean? Like negatives, right? There's more positives. All right, love 15. Ruud hasn't lost a point. Sinner hasn't won a point. Love 15. Sinner serves. No, he doesn't. He serves a fault. All right, second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Ruud. Return into the backhand of Sinner. Sinner hits a winner. That's his first point of the final. 15-all. Sinner gets a backhand cross-court winner. Now, Ruud's standing in the probably the side of the court that Ruud and Sinner have started this match. First Sinner and then changing ends and Ruud now. I would say is the worst end. Having that weird, like, shadow from the screens because the sun's setting. That big, like, rectangle on the court of shade is really awkward. When the ball goes in from sun to shade, it changes color, right? If you ever played tennis in this kind of conditions, you know how annoying it is. It changes color and just kind of like it throws your depth perception off. And not just that, but then Ruud's also standing so far back behind the baseline that the sun goes from the ball goes from sun to shade to sun. So it's hard to see the ball, it goes from like light to dark to light, and then you've just got to try and predict, time that, the timing is way off. So, timing's off for Sinner though right now. 15:30. And remember the last couple of days there's been no sun because it's been raining. So first time we're playing in the sun for a couple of days too, and I don't remember these guys playing in these kind of sunny conditions. So this might be a bit of an adjustment. By the way, in about 30 minutes, none of this will matter because it will be in shade. So don't worry. Like in 30 minutes, we'll be fine. But for right now, it's a bit weird. It's awkward for both. Sinner's only won 1 point, though. All right, second serve, Sinner. Into the backhand of Ruud. Return goes in the back of Sinner. Ruud backhand again to the forehand of Sinner. Now Ruud with a slice. Sinner with a forehand. Into the forehand of Ruud as Sinner crushes a forehand up the line. Slice from Ruud goes into the forehand of Sinner. As Ruud slice again. Into the Sinner forehand. Ruud backhand again goes to that Sinner backhand. They just go backhand to backhand for a bit. As Ruud again with the backhands. Drop shot. Sinner's going to get there. And hit in the net. 15-40 Ruud. I'll tell you, Ruud watched Medvedev. Because he's doing some things. And he's not trying to hit winners. He's just playing the rallies and extending these rallies. And he knows that, okay, well, it worked for Medvedev early on, making Sinner move. Maybe if I put in the hard work in the first couple of games, win or lose, maybe it will help. Great drop shot, though, from Ruud. That drop shot was perfect. 15-40. 2 break points for Ruud. And the thing with Ruud as well is he got the day off yesterday. Remember, Sinner had to come play. And it's not so much how much time he played yesterday. It's more about he had to come to the courts. He had to, I think people don't underestimate that. It's not like he just rocked up and played and then went home. Back in a backhand rally. As Ruud up the line to the forehand of Sinner. Ruud backhand again. Into the forehand of Sinner. A bit of a shank from Ruud. And Sinner missed it. Oh, wow. All right. Ruud breaks. Sinner has made a lot of errors in the first 2 games here, and he's only won 1 point. Strange start. And didn't get any first serves in either in that first game. All right, 2-love. Ruud breaks. All right, back to Ruud. Perfect start for Ruud. Why people yell? Why did you yell in the chat? Serve. Into the backhand of Sinner. Return. Into the forehand of Ruud to Sinner. Forehand to the forehand with Ruud. Ruud hits it out. That was the best forehand Sinner's hit so far. He just crushed it. Love 15. Ruud is a former world number 2 and you're treating him like garbage, Cam. Can you stop clutching pearls? Let go of the pearls. Take a deep breath. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Love 15. As we had a drop shot from Ruud again. Sinner gets this one. Ruud with a passing shot up the line. Beautiful shot again, Ruud. Again, the drop shot. 15-all. Beautiful drop shot again, Ruud. As Ruud serves again. As a return from Sinner goes in the forehand of Ruud. Oh, Ruud overhits it. 15-30. 15-30. He just missed a couple of forehands. Ruud put himself in some trouble. It's Freddy Krueger disguised as Cam. Can we stop with the bullying about my outfits? I'm getting sick of this. We did it all yesterday, and yesterday was funny, but come on now. All right, return goes into the forehand of Ruud. Forehand now from Sinner up the line to the backhand of Ruud. Sinner with the backhand again to the backhand of Ruud. Sinner backhand again. Into the Ruud backhand. Sinner. Backhand again into the Ruud backhand. Now Sinner with a forehand. Cross court. Ruud gets it. Into that Sinner forehand up the line. Ruud, drop shot. No, it's a slice. And it's out. 15-40 Sinner to get back on serve. All right, 15-40. To break straight back. 15-40. And we got a fault. Second serve. Second serve. As it a forehand now from Ruud into the backhand of Sinner. Ruud with the backhand. Again to the Sinner backhand. Ruud keeps going to the backhand of Sinner. Now Ruud goes up the middle. Sinner gets it back with a forehand. Ruud backhand cross court again. Sinner gets it. Ruud just keeps hitting backhands. Then Sinner goes up the line for a winner. All right. Back on serve. Sinner breaks. We're back on serve. You can just tell that when they're going backhand to backhand. So let me draw it out for you. Whoop. As I kick my computer, that's probably going to make it work. So basically, Ruud is sort of standing here, right? Ruud's down the bottom here, right? And Ruud doesn't have an effective up the line backhand, right? His backhand up the line isn't really...
What channel are these tennis matches on in Australia?
On Tennis TV. Thank you, Adam, for the 5. You can watch it on Tennis TV. So Ruud's backhand, right? He doesn't really have an up the line backhand. Well, even when he hits it up the line, it kind of lands here. It doesn't have that flat down up the line that he can just rock it. He does every now and again, but usually doesn't have the confidence to do that every time. He wants to, have the margin. So he doesn't really have that up the line backhand, especially when it's sort of like middle court. If he's hitting it here, right? If he's hitting on this, if he was out a little bit further out wide, yes, but yeah. So Sinner's going cross court every time, right? And then eventually Ruud's going out to the backhand a little bit more and leaving it open. And that's where Sinner, he has that flat backhand down line where he can just crush it. So that's where, Ruud, we're going to hear me saying Ruud backhand, Ruud backhand, Ruud backhand, because he's going to hit backhands all day because Sinner's going to make him hit backhands. But Sinner's not afraid of this up the line. Even if he was, right, if Ruud does hit that one up the line, that one that's good, Sinner can just do a forehand cross court anyway. He knows that he can hit that stretch forehand, lunging forehand winner anyway. So, yeah. And look, a lot of players do that. They pick on Ruud's backhand. It's the weaker shot, right? It's the weaker shot of Ruud. But yeah, you'll notice that Sinner will just work the backhand until he gets enough room to go down the line, and Sinner has that confidence to rip it up the line, as he just did then. 2-1. Back to Sinner. Sinner serves a fault. Second serve. All right, second serve. As the return goes into the backhand of Ruud, backhand of Sinner. Into the Ruud backhand, a Sinner backhand again. To the Ruud forehand. Sinner forehand up the line. Ruud's there with his backhand again. Sinner forehand into the backhand of Ruud, who hits a slice. Now Sinner's forehand cross court. Ruud gets on the stretch. Sinner with a volley winner though. Too good. And it's 15-love. All right, 15-love. Lovely shot from Sinner. God, he's improved his volleys too. I know Sinner fans don't want to hear it, but Alcaraz is the reason why Sinner's playing the way he is right now, these days. If Alcaraz wasn't around, Sinner wouldn't have the need to play these shots. He could win from the baseline against everyone. But Sinner's working on the volleys. You know, he's had decent volleys his whole career, but he's really using them now because of Alcaraz, right? Because he's not going to beat Alcaraz by simply standing back. He's got to throw that in. But if Alcaraz wasn't around, Sinner might just be comfortable standing on the baseline, just ripping forehands and backhands and winning that way. And to the backhand rally. Now to the forehand of Sinner. Forehand now from Ruud. Again to the forehand of Sinner with a slice. Ruud starting to rip that forehand. Good angle. Sinner gets there. And then Ruud back in open court. That's a great play by Ruud. Just kind of used the angle that time. Got Sinner way off court. And then was able to rip one on the backhand side. Whole court open. 15-0. Cross court backhand, by the way. All right, serve again. Sinner serves. The return goes in from Ruud to Sinner. Forehand cross court. Ruud gets it back with a forehand into the forehand of Sinner. Now Ruud. Forehand. Oh, it goes long, man. He's missed a couple of those forehands, Ruud, where he's had sort of one to sort of rip up the middle or rip down to the Sinner backhand. He just hasn't been able to make them. I like the fact he's going for him, but unfortunately couldn't hit the baseline. 30-15. Sinner serves again. First serve's a fault, second serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Sinner. Ruud with a forehand, comes to the net. Sinner with a pass, too good. And it's 40-15. Again, Ruud trying to do something. Why are you sad when Ruud doesn't get a point? Interesting observation. All right, 40-15. Sinner serves. I'll tell you what, if you think I'm sad, you should look at Sinner's dad. He looks miserable that his son's coming back here. What does that say? If I look sad, then what does Sinner's dad sitting there like this look like? His son just got the game to level. Like his parents look like they don't want to be there. So I can't believe if I look miserable, then and I look sad, then they're the biggest Ruud fans in the house. And his dad and Ruud's dad's there too. Jeez. Crazy. 2-0! Holy suits. There's so many suits in that area. What the hell? Did they bring the entire political party of the Italian government? What the hell? Everybody's wearing a suit. Is that the suit box? Is that what that is? President in the middle and then everybody around's wearing the same... They're all wearing the suits. Or it is Italy. Maybe everyone's just... That's how people dress in Italy. 15-love. Serve again from Ruud. Here's a fault. Second serve. Yeah, that's just normal attire. Serve to the backhand of Sinner, and then Ruud rips one up the line. There we go. Now that one there, so if you remember me when I drew those pictures, when Ruud sort of got put out a little bit further out wide, closer to the doubles line, so when he's out like sort of to the doubles line, then he can rip one up the line. He's more confident to do that. When he's sort of like not a little bit more central to the center of the court, he doesn't want to do that. But that one there, he saw that line. He just went straight down the line. Perfect shot. 30 love. As the return goes in the backhand of Sinner. Slice from Ruud. Sinner rips it into the net. Okay. The shadows are still super awkward. And I reckon that's 40 love. I reckon that's why Sinner's making these weird errors. Yeah, okay. Maybe he's nervous, but also, when's he ever been nervous? 40 love. But I reckon that the shadows are throwing Sinner off a bit. I'll be very interested to see what he looks like in about 20 minutes. If Sinner's making these errors in 20 minutes, then we'll reassess. As a return, goes in from Sinner and Ruud hits it in the net, and it's 40-15. 40-15. Most tennis players make errors. Sinner is human like anyone else. We're just not used to it. Why do we do this every time? 40-15. Why? Why does this happen every match? 40-15. Come on now. I'm allowed to tell you what's happening without being like, but Sinner can be great and make an error. I know he is great and he can make an error and he is human, but we don't need to we don't need to get defensive. As that goes wide by Ruud, and it's 40-30. Come on now. $40-30. 20 minutes in, by the way. And I think Ruud is maybe surprising a few people. I'm a little surprised. As a return goes in the forehand of Ruud. Sinner with the forehand on the stretch. Ruud into the backhand of Sinner. Ruud's depth of shot is really, really going well as well. As we got a backhand now into the backhand of Sinner. Sinner misses up the line. And Ruud goes to 3-2. He did give the break back, but he is up 3-2. All right. On a non-tennis but totally irrelevant topic, what was your thoughts on Eurovision? I hope Australia wins.
Many enforced errors equals many sins equals hence equals sinner.
Thank you for the $2 and the equation. 3-2. Wait, is Eurovision's finished tonight or tomorrow? When's Eurovision? When's the winner announced? You're a fabulous chat host. Don't change for nothing. Don't worry, I don't plan on changing. Who's the underdog here? Casper Ruud. 100%. It's over? Bulgaria won? What? That's impossible! What? And I missed it? What? She came fourth? We came fourth. It's rigged. Rigged. They just didn't want to come down to Australia. Rigged. Bulgaria. I thought it was meant to be Finland. Weren't Finland supposed to win? This is. I'm so mad. This is bullshit. This is crazy. You know what? People didn't vote for Australia because we're from Australia. That's what it is. God forbid in Australia. Look, God forbid that not a European country wins. All right? Yeah. People didn't vote Australia in spite of us. They're not European. They can't. We don't vote for them. Bullshit. This is bullshit. This is not fair. We're sending Kylie Minogue next year, so you better watch out. 3-2. I don't know if we are. We're probably not. Anyways, backhand goes up the line and long from Ruud, and it's 15 love. It's the first time. Calm down. It will be better next time. No, Australia's been in Eurovision like 5 years. We came second once, and I think that's when they realized, oh, shit, that was too close. 15 love. Free.
We should punish the sinner for being rude.
Good one. Thank you for the $2. Is Australian European? Okay. Sorry. Okay, we're going to do this, are we? Okay. Yeah, is Australian European. Okay, what about, let me just go through the countries that have been there before. Oh, because it's exclusive to European countries, apparently, right? European countries only? Is that what we're doing? Okay, well, what about Armenia? Is Armenia classified as Europe? I don't know, I'm asking. Is it? Is Armenia part of Europe? I think Morocco's been in it before. I think they're an African country, if I am not mistaken. But is Armenia from? No, they're not. See? Yes, they are. Okay, maybe they are. Azerbaijan, that's what I'm thinking. Azerbaijan is not. They're not a European country, yet they're there. By the way, Morocco won in 1980. Morocco won in 1980. Was everybody freaking out back then on the internet? No. But Australia joined. And there's a problem with us, apparently. We're not allowed to be there. You know, it's 15. Oh. Chad, I'm so outraged, I didn't even watch it. So, all right, 15 all as we get a backhand into the forehand of Sinner. Ruud with a slice. As a forehand now from Sinner to the backhand of Ruud. Forehand from Sinner cross court. Ruud gets it. Sinner just making Ruud run. As Sinner forehand again to the forehand of Ruud. Now Sinner forehand to the backhand of Ruud. And Ruud with a drop shot in the net. And Sinner with a shake of the fist. 30-15. 30-15. Morocco winning in 1980s wild. Yeah. I'm sure everybody online that in 1980 was absolutely freaking out too, right? I hope so. I hope everybody online back in 1980 was saying Morocco shouldn't even be in this competition. This is Eurovision. Morocco's in Africa. This is bullshit. I'm sure Twitter had a field day that day. 30-15. As the backhand return goes to forehand of Sinner, and then Ruud puts in that with the forehand up the line. 40-15. Yeah, long rallies. There've been some long rallies, which is good for Ruud. That's, Ruud watched Medvedev. A Canadian one being from Switzerland. Wait. Celine Dion? Did she win? Yeah, she did, didn't she? Isn't that how she got founded? Anyways, forehand goes out by Ruud, 3-0. My cousins met her. All right, 3-0. Yeah, I thought it was Celine Dion. Okay. I don't know why I know that. Pub trivia or something. I don't know. All right, 3-3. She was representing Switzerland. Oh, okay. But she's like from there, right? 3-0. Ruud serves again. As a return goes in from Sinner into the forehand of Ruud. Oh, Ruud missed it wide. I tell you, Ruud's doing a hell of a job. And somebody had their phone go off. And that's why Ruud was distracted and the umpire had to tell them to turn their phone off. Okay, that's weird. It's a new one. Celine Dion is Miss Eurovision, basically. Yeah. But she's also just like really talented as well. Backhand return into the drop shot of Ruud. He missed that one too, love 30. All right. 2 errors by Ruud. And Sinner's got a chance to take the lead with a break here. I know ABBA won. That's probably why ABBA winning Eurovision probably put Eurovision on the map. Like, that's their greatest export, right? Like Eurovision, ABBA winning Eurovision is probably the only reason why anybody in Australia knows what Eurovision is. All right, love 30. As the return goes in the forehand of Ruud. Backhand now from Sinner to the backhand of Ruud. To Sinner backhand again. Ruud backhand into that Sinner backhand. Then Ruud goes up the line. Sinner's going to get there with a forehand. As Ruud backhand cross court. Sinner's there. His backhand goes up the line. Ruud gets on the stretch with a forehand. Drop shot. Sinner in the net. Ooh, 15-30. Is Delta Australian Celine Dion, but just not as good? Why'd you have to say the last bit? 15-30. Serve is a let by Ruud. 30 minutes played. $15.30. Nice shirt. Thank you. All right, serve again. Into the backhand of Ruud. Return goes forward to Sinner. He goes behind Ruud with a forehand winner. Beautiful shot. 30-all. 30-all. As Ruud serves again. Out wide. Good serve. Ruud with a forehand back behind Sinner again. All right, he's done it twice now. Smart from Ruud. 40-30. You do not like Coco. Who, me? All right, buddy. 40-30. Good one. 40-30. Serve out wide. Nice serve from Ruud. Sinner gets it back. Oh, Ruud missed it up the line. And it's deuce. That was like an off kicker out wide. That Sinner had to really stretch out wide for. That was a good serve, but he couldn't execute the shot up the line. All right. We get the deuce. Ruud serves. A fault. Second serve. It's obvious you don't like her. Chat, do I not like Coco Gauff? This person is obviously misinformed and doesn't even come to the streams. Thank you for coming to the streams for the first time ever. As we get a backhand return. Into the forehand of Sinner. Backhand from Ruud to the backhand of Sinner. Into the Ruud forehand. Backhand is Sinner with his backhand as well. Ruud goes up the middle. Sinner into that forehand. And he puts in the net. Sinner. Another error by Sinner. And it's advantage Ruud. Bro, if you don't think I like Coco Gauff, why did I pick her to win the final? Why did I pick her to win the French Open? Why do I defend her with everything when everybody comes at her? Go watch, you know what? Just go watch the end of the match when we're talking about her in the speech. And you come back here and look at me in the eye and say, I don't like her. Advantage Ruud. You go back and watch the speech yesterday after the match. And you tell me I don't like her. Advantage Ruud. I miss your suit already. Well, it's $5,000 for me to wear the suit again, so feel free to donate if you want. All right, backhand rally. As Sinner up the line to the forehand of Ruud. Sinner with the backhand. Up to the forehand of Ruud. He puts up a moon ball, or puts up a lob. And then Sinner with a smash puts it away back to deuce. Back to deuce. Hey, Uthman, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Welcome back. Thank you. All right, back to deuce. Back to deuce. As Ruud serves. A fault. Cam triggered so easily, just ignore them. I am not triggered so easily. How dare you say that about me? I am the most calm person here. Obviously. Anyway, Sinner comes in with a drop shot. Passing shot lob by Ruud. Now Sinner with a forehand. Oh, he slapped it long. Ruud gets to advantage. Ruud gets to advantage. All right, advantage Ruud. Again, we're just going to keep an eye on this, the amount of running that Sinner's been doing, because we did find, like in the first set yesterday against Medvedev, or the other day against Medvedev, we didn't notice any fatigue, but it all just kind of adds up. So all of these longer rallies and all of these, and all of, yeah, Dumbledore said calmly, exactly. All of these, running for drop shots and running for lobs and, 20-shot rallies, those are the things that added up in the second set for when Medvedev played. So, yeah, Ruud definitely is using those, using that The difference with that though is the score, right? I mean, Medvedev wasn't leading, right? Medvedev was losing. So Ruud's got the advantage of also leading here. All right. By the way, chat, we're almost at 700 likes. Appreciate it. Come on, we can get to 1,000. Come on. We got like 4,500 people here. We can get to 1,000 likes. Come on now. Do you think Ruud's endurance is better than Sinner's? Today it might be a factor, yeah. I don't recall Ruud ever getting tired. He gets injured, right? He's been injured before, but not tired. So if this does go for a long 3 hours, maybe it's advantage Ruud physically. I don't know. Based off the last 2 matches, obviously Sinner can play long matches too. It's not like he can't. But over the last two matches, we have seen that energy dump in the second set from Sinner. So, based on the last 2 matches, you would say that Ruud, longer the match goes, or the more the more physical this match is, the better for him. Vikings never get tired. All right, 4-3. Back to Sinner. Serve is a fault. Second serve. Shadow, by the way, the shadows are almost off the court. Pretty much off the court. Sinner forehand. Into the forehand of Ruud. Sinner with the forehand up the line is wide. It's love 15. Ruud's ATP ranking is so low. Yeah, because he lost all those points in Madrid 2 weeks ago. So that's why he's dropped down. He dropped down to 25. I'll tell you this, though. If he does win today, Ruud, he will go back up to number 15, which is what he was where he was pre-Madrid. If Sinner wins, he extends his lead over Alcaraz. If he loses, he's still number 1 by a mile. And with Alcaraz out, he's probably going to stay number 1 for a while. 15, love 15. Sinner serves into the backhand of Ruud. Return goes to the forehand of Sinner. Ruud with the backhand into the forehand of Sinner. As Ruud backhand again to that Sinner forehand. Another backhand from Ruud. Sinner forehand inside out. Ruud gets it back with the backhand, but overhits it wide, and it's 15-all. So let's just talk about yesterday. So I know a lot of people are probably looking at yesterday and being like, well, Sinner didn't play a real match yesterday. He played 20 minutes. That's true. But it's more the difference between Sinner playing yesterday and Ruud having the whole day off is Sinner had to wake up early, come down to the courts, practice, then warm up, right? Warm up for the match, then play the match, even though it was only 20 minutes or whatever. Then cool down, recover, even for that 20 minutes, recover, and then also do all the press conference stuff because he didn't do that on the night that the night that they canceled the match to reschedule. That he had to do that yesterday too, so he had to go through all of that as well. That's a lot. That would have been like hours of preparation and hours of stuff that he had to do that he wouldn't have had to do had he finished the night before. And then the night before, you got to think that as well, that match finished at like 11 o'clock. He's got to warm down. Also, just the waiting for the rain to stop because it wasn't for like 2 hours until they decided, or like an hour and a half before they decided, no, we're not going to play tonight. So he had to sit around and wait for that. Then he would have had to do the warm down, all of that stuff, go back to the hotel, then try and sleep. And he said he didn't have a great night's sleep in the on-court interview straight after. He said it was hard to sleep, and as it would be because you're like, oh man, I'm up 4-2 in the third, and I've got to come back tomorrow and just play a couple of games. I better be ready because anything can happen with those couple of games, right? You come out a little slow and it's over, right? So I think there was a mental strain as well. Had they finished that match the night before and Sinner had won, would have been a lot different, right? Yesterday, he wouldn't have had to do anything. Maybe come down and have a practice, right? All right, serve down the tee, 40-15. Return goes in from Ruud. Sinner with a forehand at the back end of Ruud. Is Sinner with a forehand cross court goes long, 40-30. Also, remember, Ruud didn't have a tough semi-final either. He won. He had a rain delay in the middle, but he won in about an hour. So, Dartari didn't really put up a big, physical battle for Ruud at all. So the semi-final itself was different as well. Different type of semi-final. Plus, Ruud finished his semi-final in the day and Sinner played at night. So even then, even if Sinner had beaten Medvedev on the night, he still would have gotten more time off Ruud. 6 hours off that Sinner wouldn't have had before this final. All right, good serving Sinner though, 4-4. So yeah, so all of those things to consider. 4 games all. Back to Ruud. By the way, chat, just to give you a bit of context on how Ruud is actually going right now, in comparison to other players. Nobody since Bonzi in Madrid has gotten to 4-all against Sinner in the first set. Bonzi and that was going from Alcaraz to Monte Carlo to Madrid a week later. So maybe there was a little bit of warming up for Sinner to do. But in the first set, the only 2 guys that have gotten to 4-all against Sinner on clay this year, Alcaraz and Bonzi. And now Ruud. So that's how good Ruud is playing right now, because Sinner doesn't have slow starts and he usually comes out of the blocks with a break. I mean, Medvedev got broken first game. Rublev got broken first game. In fact, all this week, first set being 6-2 or 6-3. Last week, it was either 6-1 or 6-2, except for that Bonzi first set. And then now, even in Monte Carlo, it was 6-3, 6-1, 6-1, and then the tiebreak for Alcaraz first set. So, again, that just shows how good Ruud is right now. I mean, he's doing something that most of the players that Sinner's played over the last couple of months haven't even been able to get to. Double fault though, Ruud, because why make it easy? 15-hole. As Ruud serves, a fault. Second serve. Serving to the backhand of Sinner. Return goes to forehand of Ruud. Sinner with the forehand up the line to the backhand of Ruud into the forehand of Sinner. Ruud with the backhand again. Sinner gets it back with his forehand into the backhand of Ruud. Sinner now. Cross-court backhand. Ruud gets it back into that Sinner forehand as Ruud. Cross-court forehand. Sinner gets it up the line. Ruud backhand cross-court. Sinner's there with a drop shot. And it's too good. 15-30. By the way, just to give you a bit of a perspective as well, 8.64 Sinner performance rating, 8.54 for Ruud. So performance rating, Sinner's lower than average, but Ruud is way above his average, and they're almost level. Ruud's serving better at the moment with the shot quality compared to Sinner. Sinner's better on returns, better on the forehand, but Ruud actually better on the backhand, which is a bit of a surprise. And yeah, Sinner's already hit 10 errors. Ruud's hit 13, but 10 errors from Sinner when he's only hit 6 winners is a little bit strange. Ruud's hit 10 winners and 13 errors, which is expected because he's playing Sinner and he has to be more aggressive. All right, serving to the forehand of Sinner. Return goes deep into the forehand of Ruud. Sinner. Drop shot again. 2 drop shot winners in a row. Ooh, okay. And again, I said this earlier. If Alcaraz didn't make Sinner think about how to play tennis differently, he wouldn't be using those drop shots. Or those drop shots wouldn't be as good. Those drop shots wouldn't be as good. Just like when we watch Alcaraz play, and if he plays at a high level consistently, that's Sinner's doing, because Sinner's forcing him to have to be more consistent throughout their matches, right? Those drop shots have been improved so much. And now he's got break points. That goes out from Sinner on the return, 30-40. And those were like perfect drop shots. He pushed Ruud back, and he executed the drop shot perfection. Even Alcaraz wasn't getting that. Demon or no chance. No one would get that back. 30-40. And he did it back-to-back. Still got break point. First serve, fault, second serve. Serving to the backhand of Sinner. Return goes to front of Ruud. Sinner backhand again. To the Ruud backhand of Sinner. Another backhand to backhand exchange. Slice from Ruud. Sinner in control. Another drop shot. Ruud's going to get this one though. And hit it long. Oh no. See, that drop shot wasn't as good. Ruud read that. But he hits the backhand long and he gives Sinner the break. Good take for Cam. Bro, you don't come here enough if you think that's my only good take. Ruud gets broken. And it had nothing to do with me. By the way, chat, we're almost at 1,000 likes. Also, don't forget to sub as well. We're trying to get to 300k by the end of the year. 5-4, Sinner's going to serve. All right. All right. Bad time for a break. That's the worst time. 4-all. By the end of RG, easily. By the end of the week, by the end of the month, you're at 297. I mean, end of the year is the goal. Sinner doesn't know how to lose. True. True. Sinner's forgotten how to lose. All right, here we go. Let's see if Sinner serves it out. Let's see Sinner serve this out. Yeah, those drop shots were perfect. Perfect drop shots. The last one wasn't as good, but he hit it to the Ruud backhand, and Ruud's backhand, he just pushed it long. Just pushed the backhand long. So it wasn't the best drop shot in that third attempt, but it was to the right side of Ruud, right? Or the wrong side for Ruud. All right, backhand return from Ruud in the front of Sinner. Sinner puts it away. And it's 15-love. 15-love. Has Sinner ever won a match over 3 hours at a Masters? Probably. I think like Beijing, he won a 3-hour match against Alcaraz, didn't he? First serve's a fault, second serve. As the backhand return. Goes into the backhand of Sinner. Forehand from Ruud again. The backhand of Sinner. As Ruud. Forehand into that Sinner forehand as Ruud with a drop shot. That goes wide. And it's 30-love. By the way, Ruud's starting to stretch his legs now. That was weird. Just kind of did that like that thing that Sinner did the other night where he lifts the knees. Trying to work on the thigh. 30-love. By the way, if you do like the video or like the stream, you'll see a tennis ball pop up. It's not a baseball. People think it's a baseball. Maybe it is a baseball for some of you, but it should be a tennis ball. So, as the return goes into the forehand of Sinner, forehand from Ruud, again to the backhand of Sinner as Ruud forehand cross court. Sinner gets on the stretch. Ruud with a slice. Sinner comes in, puts the forehand away. 40-love. Yeah, and the Rockies got a win today. Speaking of baseball, let's go. We're having a great year. All right, 40-love. Sinner with three set points. 3 set points. That was a golf ball for you. That's weird. I don't think I would talk about golf. Maybe it thought we were saying golf when we're talking about golf. Maybe that's where I got confused. Maybe the golf match thought we were saying golf. And then, it's weird. Anyways, backhand goes in. Sinner puts away the smash. And the first set goes to Jannik Sinner. 6 games to 4. All right. 6-4. Sinner takes the first. Cam, you did say 6-4, 6-4. Some might say that I was emailed a copy of the script. No, that's not true. That's not true. I was just kidding. I was just making a joke. Just making a joke. There's no such thing as a script. There's no scripts. 8.9 performance rating for Sinner. 8.3 for Ruud. Ruud played really well until somebody, and I can't remember who it was. I don't remember who said it. He was playing really well until 4-all, and then someone said something about Ruud doing something that other players had done. No one else had. Getting to 4-all was a big deal. I can't remember. Somebody mentioned it. Not me. 8 winners from Ruud and 14 errors. 10 winners and 10 errors from Sinner. A lot of errors early from Sinner. Maybe nerves, maybe a little fatigue, maybe just the awkward sun in the eyes. But once that shade left the court, once the nerves settled, Sinner was able to fly. By the way, Ruud was up a break as well. Remember 2-love. He got a break early in that too. All right. Cam, how are you a Rockies fan? Because I spun a wheel with every team and it chose Rockies. Like actually. So it was chosen for me by the universe. I had nothing to do with it. But I am a proud fan of the Rockies, and we are getting better. We started off really, really badly, and now we are getting slightly less bad. Yeah, it was destiny. This is Tennis Talkative with Cam. I mean, what's the alternative? This? All right. I feel like Sinner versus Bocelli in the French Open final. Who's Bocelli? We need Sinner to break a leg for a competitive match. Bro, that was extreme. And I do not endorse that message. Should an Australian prefer cricket? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to do a cricket channel instead? Yeah, 8 years in. We're watching cricket now. We're watching cricket. Here we go. Ruud's going to serve first in the second. Let's see if anything changes. 6-4 Sinner first set. No wedding dress today. I wasn't wearing a wedding dress yesterday. Am I excited for the Netflix thing on Rafa? Oh, yeah. I'm super excited for that. When's that come out? Like in a week? As Ruud, nice hitting. And it's 15-love. $15-love. As a default second serve. Second serve. Serve to the backhand. Sinner, forehand from Ruud to the backhand of Sinner is Ruud. Forehand again into the forehand of Sinner up the middle as Ruud runs around his backhand to the forehand. Sinner backhand into that Ruud backhand now. As Sinner goes up the line with the backhand to the forehand of Ruud. Sinner. Forehand goes into the Ruud backhand and Ruud hits the backhand long. 15-0. 15-0. Today we're going to witness the birth of a new GOAT in the world of tennis. Who said that? I feel like Sinner is already in that conversation of like him and Alcaraz, right? Best of the generation, right? Best of the era. I mean, those guys are already in that conversation. I don't think it's not the birth today. It's probably when he made the final of Miami back in 21. It was probably when everybody expected, oh shit, this guy. Maybe even back in like 2020 when he made that French Open 4th round. Remember that? Or was it 3rd round? Didn't he? Yeah, when he played Nadal at the French in 2020. I think that was the quarterfinal. Sorry, quarterfinal. That was when everybody was like, that was the birth for sure. He beats Zverev right along the way. That was when we're like, oh, hang on. That was before even Alcaraz was on the scene. 30-15. As Ruud serves again. Into the backhand of Sinner. Forehand from Ruud. Into the forehand of Sinner's Ruud. With a backhand shank. Goes long. 2 backhand errors in this game, Ruud. 30-0. 30-0. I'm going to let Ruud has to hold early like he did in the first set. He gets broken. We'll just be counting down the minutes until Sinner wins the historic tournament, a title. Let from Ruud. All right, forehand up the line. Into the backhand of Ruud and Sinner backhand to the slice of Ruud. Ruud hits it out on a slice. And it's breakpoint Sinner first game, 30-40. 30-40. Breakpoint Sinner. He's got a fault. Second serve. Serve to the backhand of Sinner. Forehand from Ruud. To the Sinner backhand. Ruud forehand. Cross court at the forehand of Sinner. Now to the backhand of Ruud. Sinner with the backhand up the line. That's a winner. And Sinner's got the break in the second. Here we go. Here we are, chat. Sinner's going to start running. This might be over in 20 minutes. One love. All right. Sinner's won the last 4 games in a row. Sinner is just incredible. Yeah, that was a beautiful backhand. Just such a great shot up the line. It's perfect. And then slow motion, even better. All right. Here we go. One love Sinner in the final, in the second set, which could be the final set. One love. Sinner serves into the forehand of Ruud. Good return, but it just missed from Ruud, and it's 15 love. Uh, 15 love. Been watching you since you had 2,000 subs. Appreciate it. Return goes wide by Ruud, and it's 30 love. Chat, we're almost at 1,000 likes as well, so thank you for that. Appreciate that. 30 love. And Sinner serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve, Sinner. Into the backhand of Ruud. Return goes into the Sinner forehand. Crushes it across court. Ruud gets there but puts it wide. 40 love. Are we watching history be made? Yep. By the way, chat, just once he gets this point, I just want to put into perspective of how, like, where we were in February, right? I want to take you back. Back to February, because things were so different. And now, like, 2 months later, 2.5 months later, look where we are in the tennis landscape. It's crazy. It's crazy how things change so quickly over a couple of months in this sport. As we're going to back up the line to slice of Ruud into the forehand of Sinner. Ruud with the backhand into the forehand of Sinner again. Here's the drop shot, but Ruud's going to get there and hit a backhand winner. It's 40-15. 40-15. All right, 40-15, and Sinner tries to consolidate this break. All right, Sinner with an ace, 2 love. Okay, we get to February, right? We get to the end of February. We're going into Indian Wells. Alcaraz is undefeated for the season. Sinner's coming off a loss in Doha, right, to Menchik. And he'd already lost in the Australian Open semis to Djokovic. And we're all thinking, hang on. So Alcaraz is unbeatable now. Sinner is struggling against players that he hadn't struggled with either before or, there's a young guy who's just beaten him. And it's probably when we got to the Fonseca match in Indian Wells that things changed, right? Because even when we got to that match, it was like third round, fourth round when they played. Fonseca pushes Sinner and we're all thinking, oh, okay, that was dangerous for Sinner. But again, all the focus was on Alcaraz. Sinner wins that match. And pretty much since that point, hasn't looked... the final of Indian Wells was a little bit tough. A couple of tiebreaks were tough. But he really hasn't looked in danger since that Fonseca match. And things have changed so much. Obviously, Alcaraz got injured. That's unlucky. But even then, Alcaraz was losing. He lost in Indian Wells to Medvedev, who he hadn't lost to for a long time. He then lost early in Miami, which had happened before, but that was still a shock to quarter. Then he loses to Sinner in the first Alcaraz match of the year on a clay court where previously... he'd been winning the clay court exchange. And then Alcaraz gets injured, which only helps Sinner, even more, right? He avoids the guy that has been constantly a problem. And now we're here, and we're love 30. Sinner's about to get a double break, and he's about to complete the 1,000 checklist, which again, we go back to February. He hadn't won Indian Wells. He hadn't won Monte Carlo. He hadn't won Madrid. He hadn't won Rome. He was still only 5 out of 9, right? And plus the ATP final, so 6 out of 10. He still had 4 to go. And he's won them all to here. And he's about to win at this one if he keeps this going. I think especially back in Indian Wells, we were talking more about, so what does Alcaraz have to do to complete the checklist? We're like, Canada, Canada, Shanghai, Paris. We're like, okay, that's going to be tough for Alcaraz. Or ATP finals, he's going to have to beat Sinner there. But maybe Alcaraz can complete the Golden Masters by the end of the year. Not thinking that Sinner was going to do it 2 months later. Like, nobody was thinking that 2 months later, Sinner was going to sweep the clay, right? Pun intended. Get the Sunshine Double, right? And now go to Roland Garros and be one slam away from completing the Korea Slam, which means that he's almost completed tennis, which is insane because Djokovic did that and it took him 35 years. He has to win a medal at the Olympics, gold medal, right? There's still some things he hasn't done. He still hasn't won the Olympics. He has won Davis Cup and he's won 250s and 500s. But like Sinner wins the French, he's only got to win the Olympic gold medal. And that's pretty much all the achievements complete. Like, chat, what else? Yeah, okay, 50 titles, 100 titles, right? That's obviously part of it. But that's only going to he can't get to 100 titles over one season. It's going to happen with time. But like, he's going to be so, like, he's going to be so close. And maybe we should add like 50 titles, 75 titles, 100 titles as part of the checklist as well. Because obviously Djokovic, we shouldn't be taking that, completing tennis lightly, right? Because obviously it's impossible. It's been impossible or hard to do, right? No one's done it. Djokovic has. He's the only one. 40-30, by the way. Good fight back from Ruud. But yeah, I mean, how different things look after only a couple of months, Sinner with a slice up the line, and it's it was deuce. It is deuce. So yeah, the only things that Sinner hasn't done, if he does all those things that I mentioned, is win the Olympics and then get to 50, 75, and 100 titles, which again will come with time. I mean, we are talking about him speed running the completion of this sport. And by the way, if he does win this match, we haven't even talked about it, he will be the youngest player to complete all the Masters. To win all the Masters. He'll be the youngest player. Because Djokovic did it at like 32, 33. As that goes out by Ruud, and it's advantage Sinner. So again, just speed running this sport. All right, advantage Sinner. As the return goes in the forehand of Ruud. Sinner with the forehand on the stretch. Ruud. Cross-court forehand winner, and he gets back to deuce. Ruud survives. And Sinner just pointing at someone in the crowd. All right, advantage is gone, and we get to deuce. First serve is a fault. Second serve. As with a backhand, goes long from Sinner, and it's advantage Ruud. Advantage Ruud. As he tries to get on the board. Return goes in. Ruud down the middle with a drive volley, and then the smash from Ruud puts it away. And it's 2-1 Sinner with only the single break, but Ruud on the board. Hey, thank you, Dark Lord, for the 29 months as a tier 2. What Sinner is doing is amazing, but the depth of field is different. And when Nole did it, and he had to face Federer and God of Clay Nadal. Look, that is obviously going to be a topic of conversation for sure. So yeah, I guess the only way we can determine, the only way we can actually, I mean, it would take a long time, but maybe it's worth doing, is breaking down, okay, well, did Djokovic might have played in the era of Federer and Nadal, but did he play Federer and Nadal in every tournament that he won? Did he beat them to win those tournaments? Most of the time he did, right? Plus, like, compared to what Sinner's done, right? So we got to, like, and we won't do this until, like, Sinner is, has completed at least, if he wins this and then wins Roland Garros, we can talk about it after that and talk about how, completing tennis, how harder it was for Djokovic, if it was actually harder. And, you can say Nadal and Federer were ahead of Djokovic, so you probably say, yeah, it was harder because he had to beat them and they were better than him ahead of him at the time, right? And that Sinner's competition is not as strong. Which, by the way, shouldn't be a detriment. We shouldn't be taking that away from Sinner. Like, oh, he had it easy. Yeah, but he's also doing it quicker, though. So, like, maybe if we had harder opposition, he'd still get there eventually. And if Djokovic didn't have to play Federer and Nadal, he would have done it quicker. So it's like, maybe the 8-year difference of doing it, if he does end up winning everything, right? The 8 years difference could be put down to a level of competition, but then again, the achievements are still just as impressive. It's just one did it younger because he didn't have to play as many tough guys. But then, like I said, we got to go through every single one that Djokovic won and go, okay, how many times did he avoid playing Federer and Nadal? How many times, because obviously, also Sinner didn't play Alcaraz every time to win. How many times did he avoid his toughest opposition, right? So yeah, but either way, like, the achievement on its own is still so hard to do because no one had done it before Djokovic, right? Djokovic has done it twice, by the way. Federer couldn't do it, right? Nadal didn't do it. Like, Federer had to win the Olympic gold medal and he had to win Monte Carlo, and he didn't do either of those in singles. Agassi came close back in the day, but he couldn't win. He couldn't win Monte Carlo, and he didn't win Shanghai because it wasn't a thing. But he also didn't win the German Open, which was back in the day a 1,000 event. Sinner hits back and win a 40 love. He also didn't win 75 or 100 titles, which I think we should add as like part of it, because winning 100 titles is what Djokovic has done, and that should be part of the checklist, I think. You don't get to pick who you play across the net. Exactly. 40 love. As we return, goes in the forehand to Sinner. Sinner hits it wide, 40-15. 40-15. So yeah, we'd have to do like a real deep dive into both their accomplishments to figure it out.
Agree with you, Cam. Doesn't take away from what Sinner is doing and the way he's doing it. The past guys always pave the way for the future, and then the new guns chart their own path. Loved them all.
Hey, thank you for the 10. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know you weren't saying like, Sinner's achievements shouldn't be, it's not as good. Like, I know you won't say that, but yeah. It'll be interesting too, because now Alcaraz has got the opportunity to join that list too if Sinner does win this. If he comes back strong, as that drop shot from Sinner's too good, and it's 3-1. I think Sinner's hit about 4 amazing drop shot winners in this match, which is something that he didn't really have 12 months ago, and that Alcaraz has forced him to add to his game. All right, 3-1. 3-1. Also, chat, I have also put together just a running list of best years ever, and we can talk about that after this stream, because I know now that if Sinner wins this match, we've already had that conversation a little bit about where is this considered out of the best season of all time to this point, and it's actually a pretty interesting conversation. Obviously, there's a lot more season left to go, and there's more important tournaments to win, but we'll go through those numbers because everyone says 2011 Djokovic, 2015 Djokovic, 2006 Federer, right? They're the best years ever that we've seen. But yeah, to this point, it's interesting to compare where they were like going into Roland Garros in respective greater seasons to what Sinner's been doing right now. As with a 4 now from Ruud, that goes up to the lob of Sinner. Smash from Ruud is a winner. 30 love. 30 love. But yeah, on a pure numbers like win-loss record point of view, it's interesting. But I feel like it's only the tip of the iceberg going with like win-loss, because obviously, as people have said, people have brought up literally 5 minutes ago, also who you beat as well, right? I mean, the win-loss might be on par with the greatest season ever, but how many of those were top 10? How many of those were, your fierce rivals, right? Those things also matter. Because if you have a dominant season and your biggest rivals out, that's going to affect how people view the season compared to a season. And I'm not saying that Sinner, not playing Alcaraz. He's already played Alcaraz, so it's not, not just. I'm talking about more Djokovic and Federer. More Federer 06, where he had Nadal on clay, but after that he didn't really have a rival. How many times did he play, players that he didn't have a problem with, right? The 06 compared to the 15 Djokovic, where I think Nadal was out for a bit. So, I'm not saying, I'm just referring to Sinner. I'm referring to both those guys too in their best years ever. Because, I think Nadal in 2015 had those injuries. I think Federer might have been out for a bit too. And his best rival was Murray for the most part from memory. I have to do more. Again, tip of the iceberg saying win-loss, but doing a little bit more of a deep dive. How many top 10 players did they beat? How many top 5 players did they beat? I mean, Sinner's beaten a lot of top 3 guys. Alcaraz, Zverev, right? You got to go, shit, his record against top 3 this year is like, what, 10-1? It's got to be. He's played Zverev that many times. Did Djokovic beat the number 3 guy or the number 4 guy that many times in his 2015 season? I don't know. All right, 30-15. Backhand to backhand rally. As we go up the line from Sinner to the forehand of Ruud, as we get a forehand from Sinner to the backhand of Ruud, Ruud puts up a lob, and it's too good. Nice work from Ruud, 40-15. All right, 40-15. All right, as Sinner crushes a winner, it's 40-30. All right, as Ruud comes in with a volley, up goes a lob from Sinner, and then Ruud puts away the smash. All right. All right, 3-2. Sinner with a break. All right. Now, Chad, I haven't asked this yet. Where are we watching from? Where are we watching from? I'm in Australia. It's nearly 3 a.m. Where are we watching from? We got Florida. We got London, Melbourne, Alabama, USA. We got India, UK, Finland, Germany, Ghana, Trinidad, Bangladesh, New Zealand, Israel, St. Lucia, Florida, Nigeria, Senegal, Italy, Poland, Manila, San Marino, Poland, Austria, Thailand, Cincinnati, Barcelona, China. We've got Australia in the house. Okay. We've got Toronto, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Italy, Czechia, the UK, Toronto, Spain, Egypt. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Don't forget to sub as well if you haven't already. We've got a lot more tennis. We're just getting started, really. I mean, this is the end of the preparations for the tournament that matters the most on clay, and that's Roland Garros. And then we have like a couple of weeks of preparations for Wimbledon, but no Sinner, no Djokovic at this stage, and possibly no Alcaraz, depending on his arm. So the warm-up for Wimbledon could be pretty interesting. On the women's side, they all play most of the time. Sometimes the top players don't play, but I think most of the players on the WTA will be playing, like Raducanu and Sabalenka and Swiatek and Gauff. But on the men's side of things, we might not be watching any of the top three guys unless Alcaraz does play Queen's Club. So it's going to be interesting. But no Sinner. He's pulled out of Halle. He's not playing Halle this year. Hasn't committed. And Djokovic usually doesn't play anything before Wimbledon. Usually goes there straight from the French. This year might be different though, because if he doesn't do well at Roland Garros, he might feel the need to go play, especially with Sinner out of Halle. So I would not be surprised if Djokovic does. Let's say if he lost in like a fourth round or a third round of Roland Garros, if he did sign up for Halle, for example, to go play that as a bit of a warm up. He hasn't played much tennis, Djokovic, so he probably wants some extra matches. And also give him a bit of a leg up on Sinner, who is going to go from the clay to the grass raw, right? With no practice or no matches, which is for the first time, I think. 15-0 here as Sinner serves. Returns. Sinner with a forehand cross court, and that's a winner. And it's 30-15. PRS.
Djokovic won 40 Masters titles, 12 of them against Federer or Nadal. Of his 21st slams, he won 8 against Federer or Nadal.
Yes. Thank you for the €5. That is true. 30-15. Serve. Into the forehand of Ruud. Forehand from Sinner. Into the forehand of Ruud as Sinner with the forehand of the stretch. Ruud goes up the line to the backhand of Sinner. Ruud forehand again. Into the backhand of Sinner as Ruud cross-court forehand. Sinner slices it back. Ruud goes forehand cross-court again. Sinner gets that back. Then Ruud goes up the line with a winner. 30-0. Okay. Maybe Ruud is putting up a bit of a last stand. 30-0. 30-all. Also, chat, we got to 1,000 likes. Appreciate that. All right, 30-all. Sinner serves again. Into the forehand of Ruud. Return goes forehand of Sinner. Oh, and it's back behind Ruud. Smart shot. Ruud was thinking it was going to be a backhand. He started running and he couldn't get back to the middle to hit that forehand. It's 40-30. 40-30. Not a fan of era comparisons. Almost impossible to prove anything. Yeah. That's... I mean, look, the only way to truly compare players from different eras is to wait until they retire. I mean, we can't... It's so hard to compare Sinner right now to Djokovic's whole career. Like, that's not fair for either guy. It's not fair for Djokovic because he's worked so hard to achieve all these things. And it's not fair on Sinner because he's never going to be able to compete with the players that Djokovic was able to beat over the span of 20 years. So it really is just silly to kind of be like, oh, well, Sinner's, to be like, well, Djokovic played Nadal. You go, yeah, but we don't know who Sinner's Nadal is or Sinner's Federer is. Maybe it's Alcaraz. Maybe there are other players that we didn't realize were generational talents that haven't quite started yet. You know what I mean? So it is silly to do that until their careers are over, and then we can actually go, that, and then go, okay, let's break it down. But Sinner's like not even midpoint of his career, hopefully. He's just getting started himself. 4-2. But in terms of like Sinner alone, what his achievements are, he's ticking every box. The checklist of tennis is being completed. I mean, did he win all the tournaments? We're going to look back and go, yeah, he did win all the tournaments. And if he completes all the tournaments, like it's not like if he wins this match, it's not the exact same achievement as Djokovic in terms of numbers, right? He won the Golden Masters. So did Djokovic. So what do you have to do? What's the requirement, right? You have to win all the Masters. He won them all. There's no requirement of it, but you have to beat Nadal to do it. No. You have to win all the Masters. That's it. That's how you get the Golden Masters. Just like the slams, right? How do you get the career slam? You win all the slams. Okay. Does it matter who you beat? No. Is it more impressive if you have to beat up generational players? Yes. So we can go like, who's had the best career Masters or career Slam or Masters? But we don't take it away from Alcaraz that he won all 4 slams. We won't take this away from Sinner, right? As we do a 4 now from Ruud. Sinner with a pass. That's too good. 15-0. But then when we're talking about like best seasons all time, we got to wait until Sinner finishes this year, because the thing that's impressive about Djokovic and Federer in their best seasons ever is they kept the level for the entire year. Sinner's having a great moment now, right? He's had a great season from March to the end of May, right? Right now, he is on fire for 3 months. If he maintains that until November, crazy. And I'm not saying he has to win everything, but just like win a lot, right? Those guys won. They were consistent and making the finals all the time. Like Federer 06, right? If I go have a look at his season, Federer 06 finished the year off 92 wins, 5 losses. He made the loss in the final 4 times, and they were all to Nadal on clay. Three were to Nadal on clay, and then he lost in a 3rd round of Cincinnati out of nowhere. And I'm pretty sure that was to Andy Murray, who at the time was not really known. Or was it to Habati, maybe? Let me double check. I know he lost the match randomly back. Maybe it was 08 when he lost the match to Murray. 06. Oh, no, it was to Murray. Yeah, Andy Murray beat him in 06, and that was before Andy Murray was who he turned out to be, right? But still, he lost to Nadal, Murray, 06 Murray. And then I think he lost to Nadal in Dubai too that year, right? So it was 4 Nadals and a Murray. There were the 5 losses. Pretty impressive season, right? Yeah, 06, he lost to Nadal in Dubai. He lost to, and that was a 3-set match. 4-set match to Nadal in Roland Garros and Monte Carlo. And then he lost a 5-setter in Rome in 2006, because they used to be 5 sets. So it's not like he got beaten badly at all in any of those losses. But 92-5. Ridiculous. So, and he finished the year off by winning 5 titles in a row, including the ATP Finals, the US Open, Madrid when it was indoors. So, finished off strong. He won Basel. He won that every year. So right now, comparing even Federer 06, it's how you finish the year too, right? I mean, they've got the longevity of that season to play this level for that whole year is part of the greatest seasons of all time, because they were able to peak and stay there for 11 months. 4-3. But we'll talk about after this, if Sinner can get the next 2 games, where Sinner stands in terms of greatest season so far. Because he's up there. This is one of the greatest starts to a year we've ever seen. All right. But good for Ruud. He's just sticking around, but he's still down a break. We're seeing history being made during this time. It's so cool. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Alcaraz and Sinner are doing things that the GOATs did quicker. And that's what's been so impressive. They're the youngest to do these things. Like, Djokovic and Federer and Nadal, those guys, especially some of the achievements that we didn't really... nobody talked about Golden Masters until Djokovic won them all. Because nobody thought it was possible. Nobody had done it. So it wasn't really a thing that anybody took notice of until Djokovic did it. And then it became like, that's an achievement, right? That's a goal. So Djokovic, if Djokovic doesn't win the Golden Masters and win all the 1000s, then nobody has, and we never talk about it. You know what I mean? So they set the records, and these guys are doing the same things but younger. Like Alcaraz, the youngest world number one, youngest to win the career slam, right? Sinner, trying to be the youngest player to win the Golden Masters, right? I think is Alcaraz the youngest to win all the clay events or something, or he's youngest for something in that category too. Actually, no, he can't be because Nadal's got to be younger than Alcaraz. Somebody remind me? What was the youngest? Alcaraz the youngest to? Was it to make the semis or better at the 1000s or something? I can't remember. Anyways, 4-3. Sinner trying to get to 5-3. There's with a 4-0 from Sinner. That's a winner. 15 love. 15 love. It was an unrealistic goal completion, master completion. Oh yeah, because remember back before Federer, winning all the slams was impossible. Like nobody had really done that. So winning all the Grand Slams, Agassi did it, Steffi did it, right? But then Federer and Nadal did it, and then Djokovic, and you're like, oh, like Djokovic 10 years ago completed the career slam, which sounds like 2016. I think he won. That's when he finally won Roland Garros, right? But like that wasn't because Sampras, who was the greatest of all time before Federer came along, Sampras hadn't done that thing, but he still didn't make him any less great. So it was kind of like even winning all the slams in your career was unrealistic, right? But now we kind of like if you're a decent player and you win 2 different slams, we're like, oh, you're halfway there, and we kind of expect players to complete it because we've seen it done. We kind of count down. Oh well, Swiatek's got 3 of the 4. She got to win the Australian Open though, and we kind of underestimating how hard it is. But she got to just win that. Oh, Sinner's just got to win the French. But like before Federer, like nobody was winning all the slams in their career, and also remember pre-Federer as well was a different time. There was grass courts and clay courts, and they were totally different. And winning on those surfaces was different. And then going to Australia was hard for a lot of players back in the day. Most players didn't come to Australia. There's a forehand now to the backhand of Ruud. Backhand now from Sinner to the backhand of Ruud. And Sinner backhand into the Ruud forehand. Sinner with another backhand, but it goes long. We're 30-all here. 30-all. 30-all. Chat, did I say 1.5 hours? It's 1 hour 32. All right, 30-all. Big point here for Ruud. Just to get back in this match. At least get a chance to get back in the match. 30-all. He serves a let Sinner. Oh, was Alcaraz the youngest to win one of every title? Like one of every level of event. Was that what it was? Maybe that's what it was. Oh, no. You know what it was? He was the youngest player to win 500 events on different surfaces. That sounds like it might have been. When he won Doha. Was that what it was? Maybe. Backhand to backhand rally. Or was it last year? I can't remember. Somebody remind me. Forehand to forehand rally. As it goes into the forehand of Sinner. Sinner puts that away. Ruud just couldn't do enough with it. And it's 40-30 Sinner. Because he'd won indoor hard court, outdoor hard court, clay and grass, right? And he was the youngest to win all the 4 different surfaces or courts. Something like that. It was something like that. Youngest to win a 500. Was he the youngest to win a 500? To win a 500, though? I don't know. Backhand. Cross court. Ruud in the... Sinner in the net with a slice. Ruud with a lovely pickup. And it's deuce. All right, we get to deuce. Umag 2022. He was the youngest to win a 500. Was he? Okay. Anyways, deuce. And he's going to fault second serve. Because Rafa won Barcelona at like 18. Was... I don't know. We'll have to double check that. As a return... Yeah, Umag's a 250 though, isn't it? As a forehand rally. Sinner again with a forehand goes up the line to the backhand of Ruud. Ruud's in this rally. Sinner goes up the line though with a backhand and Ruud has to hit a slice. Sinner forehand now. Ruud guesses right with a backhand lob. Sinner with a smash. Oh, he shanked it! And Ruud's got a break back point. I tell you, smart lob by Ruud. Because even when that ball was up, you could tell that there's a chance Sinner could miss this. He's not like a 100% on smashes. He does miss. So smart shot by Ruud. Just to give Sinner a chance to try and miss that smash. And it worked. The defense of Ruud worked. Breakpoint Ruud to get back on serve. Advantage Ruud. Serve from Sinner. Into the forehand of Ruud. Return goes short. Sinner forehand inside out winner. Too good. Back to deuce. Set it up with the first serve. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. All right, Sinner serves. Into the forehand of Ruud. Ruud hits it out. And it's advantage Sinner to keep that break. All right, advantage Sinner. One of the guys in the suits is praying. Has he ever watched Sinner play before? Why does that guy look so stressed? If he's a Sinner fan, he's obviously hasn't come to any of his matches. He's got to be a Ruud fan. There's no way that guy's going for Sinner and looking that nervous. No chance. No shot. He's never watched tennis before. Serve goes in the backhand of Ruud. Into the backhand of Sinner. Ruud with the backhand again to the backhand of Sinner. Ruud wins the points. Sinner wins the point. Ruud hit it out. And it's 5-3 Sinner, who's one game away. Unless that guy's got like some bet on that he's tried to guess the games or something. I don't know. That guy looked way too anxious. He's never seen tennis in his life. If he's going for Sinner, there's no chance. And the crowd are chanting, Sinner, Sinner. All right, 5-3. Ruud serving to stay in the match. Serve. Ace. 15 love. 15 love. Serve again. By the way, Ruud's hit more aces than Sinner in this match. All right, serve again. Out wide of the back end of Sinner. Volley from Ruud's good. Sinner with a pass. Goes long. And it's 30 love, Ruud. 30 love. Love. As Ruud serves again. That's a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Down the tee, good. Second serve. Ruud gets a forehand. Now comes to the net. Sinner with a pass. Ruud with a volley winner. 40 love. Nice second serve from Ruud. Kicker down the tee. And Sinner's backhand was short for Ruud to attack. All right, 40 love. To just make Sinner try and win this on his serve. $40 love. First serve's a fault. Second serve. As he serves again. Ooh, double fault. 40-15. 40-15. All right, Ruud serves again. $40-15. Serving to the back of the Sinner. Return goes to the net. All right, 5-4. Sinner's going to serve this match. Cam predicted Sinner in 6-4, 6-4. Did I? Did I actually? Did I? I thought I said like 3-2. Or did I say 4-4? I said I hope it's 4-4. I'll take it. Actually, no. You know what? No. I definitely said 4-4. I definitely said 4-4. Of course I said 4-4. I mean, are we surprised that I got it exactly right? If he gets broken now, I'll wear the hat. All right? If he gets broken now, Sinner, to serve for this match, and I'll wear that damn hat. Too much pressure on Sinner? Well, he's dealing with it pretty well. You said 4-4, clear as a bell. All right, I'll take it. Do you think there's a possibility that Sinner will lack motivation in the future if he completes tennis at such a young age? I said this the other day. I think the biggest difference between Alcaraz and Sinner is that Sinner doesn't get bored of tennis. Alcaraz, we've seen even this year, that he does get almost, I would say, it's almost like annoyed at the sport at times. Like he was saying, like, you know, in Miami, he's like, I want to go home, right? I don't think Sinner has that same, like, he doesn't have that. And look, maybe Alcaraz, you know, he's a homebody, or, you know, he likes to be around his family. When he's not, you know, when he's away from home for a long time, he doesn't like it. Maybe he gets homesick, right? We don't talk about that. Sinner doesn't seem to have any of that. So I don't think Sinner's going to get bored. He doesn't seem to get bored. He's not overly emotional. Not that Alcaraz is either, but yeah, I wouldn't say, I would be surprised if Sinner got bored of winning. Like, you know, I don't think he's going to get bored. All right, he's serving for the Golden Masters. I mean, that's what we're here for. Backhand to backhand rally. Sinner. Again to the backhand of Ruud. A Sinner with a forehand. Into the forehand of Ruud. To the Sinner backhand. And Sinner puts it away. 15 love. 3 points away. 15 love. Last year, both Italian singles, women's singles were women's singles were doubles and were one, and this year the men's. Yeah. All right. 15 love. Yeah, over the last 2 years, they've won. The Italians have swept this tournament. Backhand return goes in the net. 30 love. 2 points away. By the way, chat, if Sinner keeps winning like this, the guy to break the streak is going to go down in history as the one to do it. Like, it is going to be whoever that is, if it ever happens, the guy that does it, that'll be the upset of the year. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be Alcaraz, right? It's probably going to be upset of the year. Maybe not Alcaraz, but it could be anybody else. Anybody else beats Sinner from now on, it'll be upset of the year to break this streak, because we're going to 4 up the line. Up the middle, sorry. Ruud hits a forehand to the forehand to Sinner. Ruud with a forehand again. Goes in. Sinner comes to the net. Ruud with a pass. Sinner with a volley. Ruud with a pass. In the net. Championship points for Sinner. The first man from Italy to win in Rome since Panatta did it back in the 70s, 50 years ago. 76. And the man who did it is in the stands. He's in the front row just watching. 40 love. Sinner to complete the Golden Masters, which only Djokovic has done. Sinner serves. A fault. Second serve. Adriano Pineda, that's it. Return from Ruud. Into the forehand of Sinner. Crushed it up the line. Ruud puts up a lob. It goes in. Sinner with the forehand inside out. That goes in. And nobody reacted. It landed in. The crowd thought it was wide. They were waiting for the call. Jannik Sinner has just won the Golden Masters. That is insane. The second man to do it. And he does it anticlimactically because that forehand looked out. Everybody was waiting for Hawkeye to say something. Nobody said anything. Everybody rose up. When Sinner put his hands up, everybody lifted. He also becomes the first Italian man to win this tournament since Pineda back in 76. 50 years. And they're going nuts in this crowd. They're all on their feet. Ruud had a great tournament, by the way. But he's taken on history. I mean, this guy is historic. He's won the first 5 1000s in a row. No one's ever done that. No one had done it in Madrid when he did that. So he's extended his own record. He's making it harder for anybody else to do it in the future. He's won more matches than anybody at 1000 level in a row, dating back to Paris last year. He's won 6 Masters in a row. No one had done that. And he's extending that lead as well. So, good luck anybody who's going to try and do that. And now he goes to the French Open as having swept the clay court season, which has been done. Nadal, even Alcaraz last year, was able to win all the 1000s on clay. But going to Roland Garros, clear favorite, career slam on the line. If he wins in Roland Garros, he completes the set of slams as well, which means he's won every big tournament in tennis except for the Olympics. The gold medal at the Olympics, which he hasn't even had a chance to really play that properly yet. Sinner is just ticking off all the boxes of what to do to become one of the greatest of all time. And he's only 24. He's only 24. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. GG's. If you are leaving it, we're going to sub on the way out. We're going to stick around for a bit. Wrap things up. Talk about stuff. But man, what an achievement. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Hey, thank you, Neil, for the 10 gifted. Appreciate that. Thank you for the 10. Carlos didn't sweep the Masters last year. Yes, he did. He won Monte Carlo, Madrid. Oh, no, sorry. He didn't play Madrid. My bad. He didn't play Madrid. You're right. Sorry, I missed out Madrid. Sorry. Look, he was winning so much, I forgot. So Sinner's done one better. But Nadal swept the Masters, so there you go. I was half right. History made. History made. To do this at 24, and Nola did it at 31. Yep. Huge achievement. Awesome journalism. I'm not a journalist. Nadal did it only once in 2010. Yeah, but he still did it. He's 25 next month. Yep. And when he turns 25, he might have all the big trophies in his cabinet. Because I don't know who's beating him at the French. The only two things that can beat Sinner at the French is if he plays on a hot day and he gets fatigued, which he didn't show any signs of that today, Or if somebody plays out of their minds and Sinner comes out a little sloppy, which again is very unlikely that Sinner's going to play bad. So, yeah. Sinner plays anywhere the level he's been playing, he'll win the French. He might drop a set here and there, but I don't see anyone beating Sinner in this mood. In this form, this level, I don't see anyone beating Sinner. No one has a better level than Sinner right now. Even if Alcaraz came back, we'd obviously have a massive conversation if Alcaraz could do something, but he's not here right now. And I know Djokovic beat him in Melbourne, but I don't know if Djokovic fans would definitely be backing Djokovic to win, but I don't think anyone's going to be picking Djokovic against Sinner if they do play in a semi-final or a final. And I say that as somebody who respects Djokovic immensely and what he's done. But if Djokovic makes the semis, having to play every match, because obviously there's a little bit of a thing with, he didn't play against Menchik, he didn't play the whole match against Musetti, right? And had a bit more gas in the tank, right? I can't see anyone. Zverev's tried, hasn't come close. Medvedev, is he going to make it that far? Quarterfinals, play Sinner? Is he going to beat Sinner in 5 sets on clay? That would be very interesting. I don't. But Medvedev hates playing, not just hates playing on clay, but hates playing in France. I think it's less Medvedev's disdain for clay than it is for playing against Frenchmen or playing in France. Look at his record against Frenchmen at Roland Garros. Though they've been the nightmares. When the crowd's been on his back, that's when he loses on the clay at Roland Garros. That's why his record stinks more than it does because of the surface itself. He plays a Frenchman in France. It's not fun. I'll tell you though, where does Ruud rank in terms of French Open? Maybe not favoritism, but French Open quality, because achievement, because he's gonna possibly make a semi-final, right? If he doesn't have to play Sinner in an early round, you'd think that he makes the semis, right? Him and Zverev playing in Roland Garros would be awesome. I feel like that'd be such a great matchup, and then to play Sinner in the final, winner play Sinner, that would be fun. Yeah, he's made 2 finals. So you would think that Ruud's going to be a favorite to make a semi if he gets put, if he's in the bottom half of the draw with Zverev, he could make the final. Ruud's had a fantastic 2 weeks. Djokovic has 2 Golden Masters. That's crazy. Oh yeah, that is crazy. Speaking of, because Sinner has doubled up on some of these trophies, right? So Sinner has won 2 trophies at some of these events. He's won, 2 ATP finals and stuff. Yeah, I guess the next achievement for Sinner when it comes to 1000s is doing it twice. That's probably right. Winning it twice. It's and look, he literally just won it 5 minutes ago, and now we're talking about, well, if you want to win 2. But yeah, I guess that's the next, achievement when it comes to, trying to win everything twice. He has won 2 Miamis. He hasn't won 2 Paris. He won 2 ATP finals. He's only won Canada, Cincinnati, and Shanghai and Paris once. But yeah, I'm just looking at his record this year, and it is crazy just to see W. Last year, by the way, didn't play Indy Wells, didn't play Miami, didn't play Monte Carlo, didn't play Madrid, and made the final of Rome. This year, he's won them all. Didn't play them last year, except for Rome. Now he's won them all. Back to back, plus Paris last year. Crazy. He's only lost in the 3rd round of Shanghai, and he had to retire because of the conditions. But he's made the final. The last time he lost was to in a match at a 1000 level to anybody outside of Alcaraz was against Rublev back in 24 when he lost to Rublev in the quarters of Canada. So it's been an insane run at this level. Crazy. And he hasn't lost before the quarterfinals at a slam since 2023. So that ain't going to happen either at this rate. Crazy. Will Sinner beat the Swiatek streak? Swiatek's streak was what, 30 something, right? The Swiatek streak was pretty 37, right? Sinner's not there yet, but if he wins the French and Wimbledon, he'll get close, right? Ruud was impressive. Hey, look, Ruud was very, very good. He held up his end as much as he could. He did a lot better than a lot of other guys have tried against Sinner. So, yeah, that was a respectable loss by Ruud. Respectable loss for Ruud. We've had better higher ranked players get beaten, but worse, right? Way worse. Since March, Sinner's won every title, then set loss. Has won more titles than lost sets. Oh yeah, true. True. That is true. Consider with all masters, he only needs 4 more. I don't think he plays Canada after Wimbledon. Oh, actually, well, maybe he will because he wants to try and win them all. I mean, he's got to play Canada now, right? He's got to play Canada.
Iga or Sinner, who is a better clay player?
Swiatek, because she's won so many Roland Garros. Roland Garros is the peak of clay tennis, right? So you're judged on you get judged on your Roland Garros wins. So Roland Garros, it's got to be Swiatek. It's so hard to compare them to each other. It's like comparing Sinner and Borg. It's like, it's like Sinner and Swiatek will never directly play, so like Alcaraz Sinner obviously is the easy comparison to put together, right? Who's the better clay court? And I can't tell you, in Alcaraz's absence, Sinner is catching him at least on clay titles, right? But time will tell with that one. But yeah, I still say Swiatek. I mean, Swiatek winning so many French Opens. Like, if Sinner wins as many French Opens as Swiatek has, then we'll have a chat. You can't compare best of 3, best of 5. Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's just such an unfair comparison on so many levels. It's not fair for Sinner because he has to play best of 5 instead of best of 3, but it's also not fair for Swiatek because her competition is way more level, right? Everyone's so level on the WTA at a high level. And Sinner's got the pretty much everything to himself at the moment because no Alcaraz, right? So again, it's just such not a fair comparison for either of them for so many reasons. Plus, they can't play directly against each other in a meaningful way, So it's just silly to compare the two. But I still think with her French Opens, they hold way more weight than the Masters. But again, it's more accurate. It's more. I mean, comparing Djokovic to Sinner on clay is probably more interesting, and see how much more Sinner has to do to catch Djokovic because Djokovic is like top 3 clay court of all time, right? Sinner's got 14,700 points. That is incredible as well, and he could add an extra 700 if he wins the French. Because remember, he made the final last year. Top 3 favorites for the French. I'm going to go Sinner, Zverev, Ruud. Maybe, I mean, Djokovic hasn't done anything on clay, so it's hard to even know where he's at. But yeah, it's got to be Sinner, Zverev, Ruud. Like, why are people questioning Zverev? Are you kidding me? Have you seen his form? What? Okay, so hang on. So all the people that are questioning Zverev. So, okay, top 3 favorites. What do you want me to say? Sinner, Sinner, Sinner. Okay, there you go. There's your answer. Sinner, Sinner, Sinner. Okay, Sinner, Sinner, Sinner. What does Cam smoke? What do you mean, what am I smoking? So, okay, how am I... pick 3 players, top 3 players. You're not going to put Zverev in the top 3? You're not going to put Zverev in the top 3. The question wasn't who can beat Sinner. It was top 3 favorites of the French. And you're not putting in Zverev. Anybody who's not putting in Zverev is crazy. Zverev is number 2 behind Sinner. In the seeds, in the form. You're kidding yourselves. Come on. not putting Zverev in top 3 is crazy. And questioning me saying that he's top 3 is crazy. You're crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not the crazy one. You're underestimating Zverev. That's crazy. Zverev is top 2. Yeah. Okay, everybody, all the smart people out there. If you're not putting Zverev in, then who's your top 3? Who are your top 3 at the French? To win. To win. Who are your top 3 to win the French if you don't put Zverev in there? That's crazy. Who are you putting in there instead? So you put Sinner? Fils Djokovic. Fils? I love Fils as much as the next guy. I love Fils as much as the next guy. But winning a Grand Slam, he's closer than Zverev? I don't think so. He's more like Fils also was injured. I know he pulled out precautionarily, but still. Oh, I can totally understand putting Djokovic in there as well. I can understand Sinner, Djokovic, Ruud, but still, even that, like Zverev behind Ruud? Like Zverev and Ruud have had pretty similar clay seasons. Medvedev? Okay, well now I know you just like love Medvedev, and that's fine. I love Medvedev too, but like you're just putting your favorite player in there at that point. You want Medvedev to do well, and that's fine. No, I love Fonseca too, but I'm not putting him ahead of Zverev in top 3 favorites. If we did a top 5, I'd probably maybe put Fils. I'd definitely put Djokovic in top 5. Maybe Fils or Fonseca, right? There's definitely some Hodar, blocks, right? They've been playing well lately. You could definitely, squeeze somebody in there at the 5, but top 3, no Zverev is mind-blowing. He's so consistent. Also, like physically, he can go 5 sets. Whereas we don't know about Hodar. We don't know about we don't know about Djokovic, right? We know he can go 5 sets, but we don't know about Djokovic right now. Like Zverev is just more reliable. I hope someone can challenge Sinner in best of 5. Look, I reckon there will be a match over the course of the Roland Garros where Sinner is in trouble. Not in trouble. Sinner's forced to play. He might lose the second set. He might lose the first set. There will be a match out of the 7. Let's say he wins the French, right? One of those 7 matches, I don't know if it's the first round, the final, whatever. There will be a shot. Somebody will have a chance to do the impossible. I don't think they'll take it. I don't think he will lose. But somebody just like what Medvedev did yesterday, right? Like there'll be that kind of Medvedev-ish match somewhere. I don't think Sinner's going through the French Open without losing a set. I think he'll lose one. He'll have one match where he'll have to work for it. I don't know who that is though. I don't know when that is. But I don't think he sweeps. I think there's going to be one match along the way that he'll have to battle, just like Spizzirri kind of that kind of random thing that happened. I don't know who that is though, but I don't think Sinner's going to sweep the French. Do we know about Fis's injury? Yeah, he pulled out mainly because he didn't want to make it worse. So. But he's fine. He'll be fine. He will be fine. Yeah, there will be one. There will be one. I mean, look at Alcaraz, right? He's won heaps of Grand Slams, and there's always one match along the way where he has to play some weird 4-5 setter, right? So there'll be something. somebody will challenge Sinner along the way, but he'll answer the challenge as he always does. Is there something that Bonzi, Medvedev, Menchik have in common? Bonzi, okay, I wouldn't put Bonzi in that category. Bonzi won the first set in a very close tiebreak. So Bonzi and Mahatch won tiebreaks against Sinner. They never really put Sinner on the ropes. But Medvedev and Menchik, obviously Menchik beat him. Medvedev pushed him twice. Yeah, those guys, they're more interesting. And the thing that they have in common is a big serve, right? Medvedev's obviously got the physicality. That the two things, right? The two things that we've seen over, and I'm basing this over the time, and it's not always the case, but it's, there is a common thread through the matches that Sinner has struggled in or lost, is if he plays somebody who's super physical, right? Medvedev dragging out the rallies, pushing Sinner to his physical limits, or somebody's able to bash through, right? Like a Menchik in Doha, be able to serve big, come to the net, ultra aggressive, Bublik at Halle, right? Those are the two types of players, and you can say Alcaraz is a bit of both, right? Those are the two types of players that we see consistently seem to in his tough matches. Now, he does beat players that have great endurance. Demon or, he can beat big servers, right? He can beat big hitters. It's not like every person who does this is a problem. No. It's just that over the time in his toughest matches or his closest matches, right? Those have been the types of players that he's struggled against, right? He's struggled against some guys who hit the ball big, and he struggled physically against some guys who drag out the rallies. But again, it's not just because you drag out the rallies doesn't mean you win. Just because you have a big serve doesn't mean you win. Because Sinner can beat those guys just as badly, right? Zverev, he's got a big serve, and he can go physically. He hasn't put up a fight for months, right? So you go, well, Zverev can't do it. Yeah, exactly. So it's not a sure thing. But those are the only things, right? They're the only two things that seem to trouble Sinner at very rare times. And and Alcaraz is both those things. That's why he troubles Sinner more, right? Because he can do both those things. He can go with Sinner for 5 hours and play at a high level for a long period of time, and he can also hit winners off Sinner, which not many players can. Jannik was at 60% max, still won his straights. Oh yeah, Sinner didn't play. Sinner did not have to play today as anywhere near his best. And that's why we're giving a lot of credit to Ruud, because Ruud did he did well considering higher ranked players have done worse. Sinner did end up with a 9.1 performance rating though, so that's good. 8.3 for Ruud, which is actually really, really good for Ruud. Much better than Ruud has played over the last year. And then 27 winners, 15 errors from Sinner, which most of those were in the second set, and 22 winners, 23 errors from Ruud. So, Ruud put up a good fight. Wasn't enough, but it was a good fight. And it was better than last year, which we kept comparing to this year, right? He won 2 games in the first 2 games, and that was better than last year. Last year's effort was 1 game in 2 sets. So, yeah. So, credit to Ruud for doing well, considering. But yeah, Sinner still didn't need to put the foot down as much as he didn't need to do it to prove anything. And look, we didn't talk about that. We talked about it at the start. Like, Sinner never looks nervous. He never seems to get nervous. But maybe there was, the Italian president was there. The last guy to win this tournament 50 years ago was there. The entire crowd was there to witness a historic moment. I mean, he won the Chad. How rare this is for Sinner to win the Golden Masters at home. Like, how rare. No, obviously Djokovic didn't get to play at home to win, but how rare is that? Like, you get to be in front of your home crowd, in front of your family, your country, and you're about to do the achievement that only one person's ever done. Like that, all of that, there's got to be some sort of nerves in there, even though he didn't show it. Like, ridiculous. Like he gets that opportunity. That is scripted, right? That is scripted from the tennis gods. Like that is so, like, he could have been in Shanghai and done this, right? It could have been friggin' Canada, right? And he could have won Canada as the last one or whatever, right? Alcaraz won't get to do it in Madrid. He'll have to do it in Paris or Shanghai or somewhere else, right? So the fact that Sinner gets to do this at home is even more ridiculous. That he's able to achieve this amazing thing in his backyard. What the hell? Like, how does that even happen? So there's got to be nerves because the president rocked up with a bunch of friends. And when I say friends, I mean probably colleagues. You had Panetta in there, obviously, who was the last guy to win this tournament 50 years ago. The Italian doubles team won. So he's like, oh, shit, I better do that so we can, the men doubles team and myself, Italian domination on the weekends, right? But yeah, I mean, so much. It's like, even though he didn't show it, he would have definitely felt some sort of nerves and pressure. And he was the heavy favorite to win, right? It was like, well, and then you can add on top of that, he's won 5 in a row, or 6 in a row now. He's won 5 of the first 5. All of those other things. Extended his lead over, most 1,000 matches in a row. Extended his streak to be close to, 30 matches or whatever. So, yeah. Probably closer to 40, right? 35 maybe? Close to 35? So, yeah. Incredible. Incredible, chat. Historic. Literally historic. The irony is that the pressure in Roland Garros will probably be more internal because he wants it so badly. Well, that's it. I mean, yeah. Well, but no, there will be external pressure too because we're all expecting him to win the French because no Alcaraz, and also he hasn't lost anybody lately. So the expectation on Sinner at the French is very high. So yeah. Why do we come here every time we think someone beat Sinner? I don't think anybody thought Sinner was going to lose today. Not many. Maybe like a couple people, but not many. But see, this is the thing, right? It's fun to try and as a like my coaching brain, right? It's so much fun to try and figure out, and this is again, I know Sinner fans hate when I do this, but it's just how it works, right? Trying to figure out a strategy or a way to beat Sinner. That's what everybody in the world is trying to do, right? That's what all the players are trying to do. I love that problem. Like, Sinner is a problem for everybody and trying to solve that, right? Who can do it? It's so easy to just go, well, no one can beat Sinner, so I'm not even going to use my brain. Like, I don't like doing that. There is someone will figure out a way to beat him once to break this streak. He won't win forever, right? It's gonna end. The streak's gonna end. Who's gonna do that? How they're gonna do that? That's gonna be crazy. But and same with Alcaraz. When he was winning at the start of the year, we're going, okay, well, how can Alcaraz lose? Who's gonna beat him, right? We're doing the same thing in Indian Wells when we got there after Doha, right? For Alcaraz. So again, for the Sinner fans who are out there, it's not people that are asking like, who's gonna do this? How are they gonna do this? It's not us trying to break down Sinner and be like, oh, well, we're trying to solve a problem that is unsolvable. It's like doing a Rubik's Cube, right? Or doing like a puzzle, right? It's just trying to figure it out. That's the fun part. I love doing that. I love trying to work out, okay, well, what if this guy does this? How does that work? Or what if this guy plays like this on this surface on a hot day, right? Is that the solution to Sinner? Right? It's trying to figure that out is the fun part. Just my coaching brain kicks into gear. But it's not like anti-Sinner shit. Because the easy answer is Sinner's unbeatable. But also, like, that's just lazy. Like, not even thinking about how to beat him is lazy, right? Every player in the world right now is watching Sinner play and thinking and trying to write down notes and trying to figure it out. Well, they should be if they want to have a chance. Thanks for extending your work to the beautiful moments of the winning ceremony. No worries. We're just chilling. By the way, chat, now we can, let's gas Sinner up a bit, even though we don't really need to, because let's be honest, he's kicking ass without us helping. So, best year ever. Best year ever. Let's talk about the two best years that everybody talks about, or the two best seasons, I should say. Djokovic 2015, and Federer 06, right? And I know some people say, what about Djokovic 11? Djokovic 11 was good, but I think 15 was better. He had a better percentage. He had a better... We'll pick that one for Djokovic. 2015 was better. So, going into Roland Garros in 2006, Roger Federer, his win-loss record was 38 wins, 3 losses. He had lost 3 matches. All of those matches were to the same guy. That guy was Rafa Nadal. He lost to Nadal in Dubai, he lost to Nadal in Monte Carlo, and he lost to Nadal in Rome. It was actually a 5-set match in Rome when they used to play 5-setters back in the day. Can you imagine if they did that now? I wish they did. He was on a 92.68%. Now, that's the important number. Write that down. 92.68%. He won the Sunshine Double. He won the Australian Open. And he went into the French Open with that record. Obviously, he lost to Nadal in that French Open final. And then he went on to the grass. Djokovic, 2015. He actually started the year off with a loss in the first tournament he played. 2-1 was his record going into Australia. So he started the year off bad. In fact, spoiler alert, that was his worst tournament of the year. It was the first tournament of the year at 250. I think it was in Doha, maybe. I have to double check. But yeah, Djokovic actually started the year off terribly. Had his worst result of the season and then just didn't ever do that again. He was 35 wins and 2 losses going into Roland Garros. 94.59% winning record, percentage record. So higher than Federer. Plus, he'd also gone into the French Open, winning 4 1000s in a row, which was a record until Sinner broke it. He'd won Indian Wells, Miami, so Sunshine Double. He'd won Monte Carlo and he'd won Rome. He skipped Madrid because he thought he was playing too much tennis. He also won the Australian Open to start the year, or at least at the very start of the season. His only losses before Roland Garros, and I'm going to go through this properly now because I think it was to Karlovic, I want to say. It was a weird loss he had back in the start of 2015. So he lost to Karlovic in the quarterfinals of Doha. He must have had match points because he was close in the second set. And then he lost to Federer in Dubai, final. That was his 2 losses. So first one was weird as hell. He went to the French Open. He lost in the final. Sinner. His record as of now is 36 wins and 2 losses. His percentage of win-loss is 94.74. Higher than Federer, higher than Djokovic. Higher than Djokovic. He has won the last 5 tournaments in a row. His only losses to Djokovic and to Menchik. The Menchik loss kind of mirrors that Karlovic loss a little bit, even though Menchik was better than Karlovic was at the time. But still, has that kind of similarities. Like lost in Doha to a big hitter, just like Djokovic in 2015. The difference, though, is he didn't win the Australian Open. So even though he's percentage-wise, he's doing better, and he's also won more trophies leading into the French, his percentage is better, but he doesn't have that Grand Slam. So it's interesting to try and compare because it's really going to hinge on Roland Garros. If he wins the French, going into Wimbledon, we'll have this conversation again because, if he makes the French final, we can have this conversation again because things like I said, Djokovic and Federer both lost the French Open final 2015 and 06, right? So they didn't even win the French. So if he wins the French, then it becomes like those 3 seasons are almost the same because they both have a slam. They all have a slam, blah, 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 blah. Now, people talk about 2011 Djokovic. Yeah, Djokovic 2011 going to the French Open was 100% winning record. All right, he was 100%. He hadn't lost a match going to Roland Garros. The problem with 2011 is that Djokovic ended the season off pretty bad. I mean, he lost. He lost to the ATP finals. He lost terribly at the back end of the year. He also didn't win as many matches as those 2 seasons. That's why I grabbed the Djokovic 2015, because Djokovic 2015, he won 80 matches. He won 82 matches. In 2011, he only won 70. And all of those, like 40 of those were at the start of the year, but then he only won like 30, and he was like 30-6 at the end of the year. So that's why I think 2015 as a season was better. And we're going off seasons, right? Because, I mean, Sinner could, after Wimbledon, not win a title. And then we could talk like, oh, well, that's not as good, right? Because he's going to drop. But as of right now, that's why I compare that one. Because, by the way, comparing Djokovic 2011 start of the year is ridiculous. Nobody's going to ever beat that. No one's going to Roland Garros undefeated, ever. So that's not that start of the year is not a fair comparison. The end of the year will probably compare more to that. When Djokovic started to lose, and his percentage went from 100% down to end of the year at 92%. So he went from undefeated in the middle of the year, and then he dropped down to 92% at the end of the year. Whereas Djokovic in 2015, he was at 93.1%. So a better percentage record as a season, right? So I know people are probably shouting in the chat like, what about 2011? It was better. He didn't lose. I know. But we're talking about overall, the season. So that's why it's more fun to compare to 2015 and where Sinner is, because that overall was a better season than the start of 2011, which was by far the best start to a season that anybody's ever had and will ever have, probably. So what's next? French Open. So he's got to win the French, at least to get the conversation really going, because when we talk about great seasons, we talked about this last week. You got to win 3 slams. Winning 2 slams and then winning a lot of 1000s maybe can cover it, but winning 3 slams is almost the minimum. Because last year, Alcaraz, right? He didn't have a great start to the season, but when we got to the US Open and even when we got to the Asian Swing, he was 66 wins, 6 losses, 91% winning record, and he had won 2 slams. 2 slams. But we don't talk about Alcaraz 2025 because he only won 2 slams. And he didn't have like an unbreakable streak in the start. He didn't really have like a 5 tournament win streak. He was 3, and then he lost 1, and then he won 3, and then he lost 1. So yeah. So he's got to win Roland Garros, Sinner. Because if he's only got 2 out of 4 at the end of the season, it's hard to compare 3 out of 4. Like 3 out of 4 is where the greatest seasons of all time come from. Does that make sense? Are we all up to date? Did we write it all down? It's going to be on the test at the end of the semester. And I think, is 2015 the points record for Djokovic too? I'm not sure how close Sinner is to that. But yeah. ...2024 Sinner was actually pretty epic too. I did do some research on that too. So that's Sinner's best season to date. Sinner 24 is up there too. So Sinner at 24, he went to the French Open 28 wins, 2 losses. Sorry, 28 wins, 3 losses. Going into Roland Garros 2024. And then, and then started to run. Started to run on the back end of the year. But yeah, 2024 Sinner was, he's definitely doing better than that season because he's won more. But yeah, 2024 Sinner was, he won the Australian Open. He won Miami. He just didn't do as well on the clay pre-Roland Garros. But, and he didn't play Rome because remember he got hurt in Madrid. So yeah, 28 wins, 3 losses going into the French that season. Whereas this season he's 36-2. So yeah, so it's going to be fun. Roland Garros is going to be fun, and tracking Sinner is going to be fun over the next 6 months because again, all those guys, there is a period in each of their seasons that they drop off. Maybe it's they drop off because somebody comes along and takes their trophies, like Nadal on clay, or somebody comes along and unexpectedly beats them. Like 2015 Djokovic, he lost the French Open final to Stan, right? That wasn't expected. Wait, sorry, 2015 was Stan, right? Was it Stan or Rafa? No, it wasn't Rafa. It was Stan, right? I'm pretty sure it was Stan. Yeah, Stan. And then he lost in Canada and Cincinnati after winning Wimbledon. And then he went and won the US Open, which is more important. But yeah, 2015, he ended up losing, he ended up losing 3 out of 4 tournaments between Roland Garros and the US Open. He only won Wimbledon in the middle. So there is going to be a time, and maybe Sinner had that at the start of the year. Maybe now he doesn't have that. Maybe he loses one match randomly in that spread and then wins everything else. But yeah, there might be and look, it might be Canada. It might be Wimbledon if he goes well at the French and wins that. And then, after playing on clay, then going to grass, it might be that. Who knows, right? We don't know. Nobody knows when the streak's going to end. But there always seems to be a moment where there's a couple of losses in a row, right? Like a couple of tournaments in a row, somebody gets the better of them, or something happens. They lose their confidence a little bit. They lose that momentum, or players get some belief and they go, oh, we can beat you on hard courts maybe. But yeah, so that's where we are right now. That's what we're tracking for best season ever. And we'll track it for until the end of the season to see where it ranks in best season of all time, because it's definitely on track to be one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen. It's already a massive accomplishment of what he's done to this point. Even if he's not like top 10 best seasons all time at the end of the year, what he's done already, Sinner, is one of the greatest achievements we've ever seen, and we'll probably ever see, because he's not going to... I don't think anyone's going to break this record anytime soon. Yeah, 5 Masters in a row, 6 Masters. So 5 Masters in a row this season, 6 in a row, yep. Even if it's not a 3-slam year, he's already done history. Exactly. Well, that's it. That's it. Just like Alcaraz. I mean, Alcaraz might not win a slam for the rest of the year, but he did complete the career slam as the youngest player to do it. So even Alcaraz this year, he hasn't even played that much. He's already done something historic as well. So like, yeah, no one's going to take the history away from Sinner. Like, he's already done historic things. It's just when we're talking about greatest season ever, that's the thing, right? That's the conversation. You don't, just because you didn't have the greatest season of all time doesn't mean you get all those things taken off you. Like, he's still got all those things. But greatest season ever, that's what he is up for, right? Maybe one day there will be a season where a player doesn't lose a match. No, it's not going to happen. Never going to happen. No one's undefeated in tennis. If it hasn't happened to now, it's never going to happen. Sinner wins, but Alcaraz wins. True. One step at a time. He's tied now. Winning RG will be an incredible achievement. The rest is not on the table at the moment. Exactly. That's why we're tracking it to now. And this is why like 2 weeks ago, I didn't want to talk about any of this, because I don't think it's fair on Sinner to be talking about the best season of all time when we haven't even had the second slam. Like, it's not fair to compare him and to do that. But I've been asked so many times over the last 2 weeks, hey, Cam, is this greatest season ever? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, let's crunch the numbers. So that when we talk about this after Wimbledon, because that's way more relevant. If he wins Roland Garros and Wimbledon and we get to the after Wimbledon, that's when this topic should be spoken about seriously. Right now, we're just kind of like having fun with it, going, oh, he's actually doing better than Djokovic and Federer did back in their seasons, right? Djokovic 2011 is like a unicorn. But like after the 2 Grand Slams, and if he wins them, that's when we'll have a serious conversation on where does this rank, because it'll be a very, very serious chance of him actually doing it. Yeah. Looks like Djokovic top scored with 1,738, 380 points. Yep. Well, but the problem with that, right? The problem with that is that the rankings changed. Back in 2009, they changed the scoring. So back in 2006, when Federer won everything, the points weren't as high. Everything was worth less. So it's hard. Yes, Djokovic got the highest ranking score of all time, but it's from 2009. Pre-2009, everything was, you drop a 0 off everything. So like Federer won a 1,000, he got 100 points. If Federer won a slam, he got 200 points. It wasn't 2,000 points like now. So you have to, it's almost like when you talk about like, you have to like, what is it? What do they say? With like inflation? Like, back in 1975, it was $1 million. And what's that money today? You got to do that with Federer for his 2006 season because it wasn't the same scoring system. So you'd have to give him all his titles and stuff, but use today's scoring to actually get an accurate number of how many points he would have had the points been the same as they are today. So it's like, yes, Djokovic has the record, but I want to see how close Federer would have gotten. Because 2006, he won a lot. He won a lot of big trophies. Points were halved. Federer had around 1,650. Points weren't halved. Back in 2006, they weren't halved. Points were like 10. Like Federer won Wimbledon, he got 200 points, right? Wimbledon 2006. I think the points distribution was 200. 200 for the winner, and let me double check. I know it was 200 for a little bit. Maybe it was just after that. Oh, no, you're right. It was 1,000. Okay. When were the 200 points then? Was that back in the early 2000s maybe? Was that before that? When were the slams worth 200 points? Or am I not going to be able to find that info because it's not anywhere? Or maybe, you know what it was? It probably was an experiment in 2007 or 8. Let me double check. Let me check. Why isn't it showing? Hang on. There we go. Was it 2008 that they... No, it wasn't. Okay, I don't know when it was. There was definitely a time when slams were only worth 200. What were the thousands worth? Were they worth the same? Were winning a 1,000 worth 500 points? What was a 1,000 event? Indian Wells, 2006. What was the points distribution there? We'll never know. What was the prize money? We'll never know. I can't even find that out. That's annoying. Anyways, yeah, you're right. The slams were half. So he got to 1,650. Okay. So 16,500. Okay. But was that across the board? Estimated around 9. Oh, okay. So you're using AI because you've just copied and pasted that answer. So I don't trust that. I thought you actually did the work, but no. It's just it's not big. Look, that's great. Google it, and it might be right, but also like it could be wrong. So please like use your brain instead of using AI. Because as far as AI is concerned, Hubie Hurkacz is getting coached by Fizet, and that's not true. And Medvedev beat Berrettini 6-love in Monte Carlo, which is also not true. Slower courts force everyone to play long physical matches. Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation as well. So 100. So Masters events was worth 500. ATP 2006. Let me check the points distribution. Here we go. Where is it? Why do they not? Can I play? Can you? Okay, so Federer had 6,725 points at the end of 2005, and he ended up with 8,000. So 8,370 times 2. Yeah, so 16,740 is what I got. So he had 8,370 points, which was, by the way, almost double Nadal's score at number 2, which is why it's considered one of the greatest seasons of all time. Anyways, I think that's that. But thank you, everybody, for joining. Now, what's next? Next week, we're going to watch sporadically because I got to be honest, it's been a long season of clay. We've been watching every day, most of the time, multiple matches. So next week, we're going to take a seat and take a rest. We're not watching nearly as much tennis. No way, not even close. We're not watching so much. Eala week. Now, Raducanu week. She's coming back. We haven't watched her for a minute, so we're going to watch her. But so next week, what I like to do in the weeks before a slam, usually Djokovic says, I'll play. And I'm like, oh, why? Why are you doing this to me? He didn't do it this year. He didn't say, hey, I'm playing Geneva this year. So thank God. So we don't have to watch one player this week consistently, or like Djokovic win 100 titles. So there are names that we could tune into because we haven't seen everybody play on clay yet, and I like this opportunity to kind of like watch some players that we haven't seen yet. So like Fritz, for example, we got Shelton's playing next week, Wawrinka, Tsitsipas. On the men's side of things, FAA is playing. So there are some names there that we can maybe jump in and have a look. Demonov's playing Cerundolo, and that's kind of a banger. We might watch that tomorrow, even though I don't like watching Aussies, but look, we might. Mboko, right, on the women's side, we've got obviously Eala, Raducanu, they're playing as well. Jovic is playing. So, yeah, there are names that we could tune into next week. Again, just to kind of, not go nuts with watching 7 matches in a day, which I've been doing, well, at least 4 a day for the last 6 weeks on average. But we'll just kind of tune in and just have a couple of fun streams, really. Before we get to the serious thing, which is Roland Garros. Draw comes out later in the week. Obviously, we watch for that as well. And tournament starts Sunday. This time next week, we're going to be watching Roland Garros first round. No idea who plays. We're going to watch whoever plays. Draw comes out later in the week. I'm not sure what day. Thursday, Friday. Sounds about right. So, yeah. We'll only watch 70 matches this week. Yeah, only 70. Watch FO qualies. Just kidding. Depends who plays, though. We might watch... Dimitrov's there, but I don't know. I don't know if I can watch the French Open qualifiers. I can watch the main thing, but I don't know if the qualies are available on TV. Do you think Sinner will get the start on Tuesday? I reckon Sinner might play on Monday. Smack bang in the middle of the 3-day first round. No worries, Orchard. This is my spring break. Now, my spring break is after Wimbledon, which I think is actual spring break. Or is that summer break? Anyways, I'll see you guys sometime next week. Actually, tomorrow, because there's a match on that we're watching tomorrow. 2 matches, maybe. But Sinner wins. He does the thing that only Djokovic has done. And now he's going into the French Open to try and complete the career Grand Slam. So he's done the Masters, which is almost like something that nobody talks about, really, because, as in nobody expects anyone to do. But he's done that. Now it's going to be the thing that we're all kind of like, this is the thing that really makes the big difference. This is the thing that legends do. Alcaraz is on that list. Obviously, Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, Agassi, Steffi have all done this. Rod Laver, Margaret Court, they've all won. Serena, they've all won every single Grand Slam. So that's what Sinner's next achievement is, the big achievement. This has been great, though. This has been unexpected. Nobody thought in February, going into New Worlds, that he was going to win the career Golden Masters. Nobody thought that was going to be happening until he won Monte Carlo. And I think that's when we all changed our tune and we're like, shit, he just got to win 2 more. Once he won Monte Carlo and beat Alcaraz, and then obviously Alcaraz got injured, and it was like, well, Sinner's going to do it now. And he has done it. He's completed that achievement. What an achievement. What a historic moment for the sport. 4-4. He beats Ruud. Ruud's had a great week too. We should respect that. And he will be a favorite at the French for sure. But, Casper Ruud. Jannik Sinner has completed the Golden Masters. I'll see you guys next week.